The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Barbers Chat Network, our great partners at H&B Media, or any of our media peers. We're just five idiots who love sports and love to talk shit. If you're offended easily, then this show isn't for you. And for those of you who aren't offended easily, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Remember, it's only entertainment.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack, this like no Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
First off, I just want to say fuck Elon Musk because apparently we can't stream on fucking Twitter without a fucking premium
Yes.
account.
I
What the
told
fuck is this
man,
thing?
you know what, Scott? Let me apologize to you and the team, because that's part of my job here at Barbershop Digital. I just found that out yesterday. I just found that out yesterday by one of
That's
my team
crazy.
members because they got premium, and I was like, oh, that's wild. So yeah, we can't. Yeah, my bad.
So
It's
That's
been a long
crazy.
2 days,
that's
man.
you know what? That's some
Don't find me.
bullshit. But anyway, I'm gonna have to tweet this main show link out because niggas is on bullshit. I don't even. I'm not. It's not even Bang's fault. It's fucking Elon bitch ass fault.
Yeah,
Fuck
that's
Elon,
crazy,
nigga.
bro.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
want you
That's
to,
some
they
whole
want
shit
you to
for
pay that
real. That's
fee.
crazy.
Yeah, man.
They trying to force that 5 on you, man. That shit is
Yeah.
wild.
And look, I was paying for the fucking for the check and shit. But then I was like, man, I'm gonna stop paying for this shit. Now I realize I gotta pay for that shit. This is some bullshit.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, I was paying for it before Elon bought the shit. Cause it was cool. You got to, edit tweets and shit. It was actually useful.
This is some bullshit. Anyway, man, we here. I'm not gonna hold you. Special edition. We getting off to a rocky start. That's why if you only say like 16 people right now, because we not on fucking Twitter, man. So I gotta tweet the fucking YouTube link out. And then I gotta give these niggas some money before next week, which is fucking bullshit. Anyway, man, it's your boy Scott. We here. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm here live from H&B Media Studios here in Los Angeles, California. We got a packed show for y'all today, man. We're gonna be doing a full Chicago Bears training camp preview here in the first hour. Of course, you can follow me on all social media platforms at Barberchair Scott. You can follow the Barberchair Net at Barberchair Net on all social media platforms. Follow HB Media, HB Media TV on Twitter, and at HB Media on Instagram, man. Also, follow, subscribe, like all the other shit. We also gonna be doing. I'm not gonna hold you pre-shows. We did the first one today, me and Bangs, couple y'all in there. Basically, we just gonna be in there shooting the shit 25 minutes for the show. So if you're a Patreon subscriber, come fuck with us. If you're not a Patreon subscriber, you need to subscribe and come fuck with us. We got a lot of other stuff on there as well, man. We got a packed house today. Courtney will join us in the second hour. I'm gonna bring in the rest of the crew, even though y'all just saw them niggas 2 seconds ago. We've got JR Bang. You can follow Bang at all social media platforms at JR Bang. Y'all can follow Mikey at Junior_Solito. And of course, you can follow Dante at October Zone Tay, man. Gentlemen, how y'all doing today?
I'm pissed off now that we can't fucking stream
Bro,
live.
I'm
That's the whole point of the show.
I'm hot. I mean, we streaming live on YouTube. Shout out to everybody watching on YouTube.
No disrespect to our 19 niggas on YouTube currently tapped in. It's all
shout out
love.
to everybody
It's
on
all
YouTube.
love.
Yeah, Elon on bullshit. But how y'all? Besides that, how y'all feeling?
Cool, man. We cool. We chilling. Pardon the background. I'm in my OG's kitchen. She's gone for a while, so I'm house sitting.
How about you, Dante? Outside of this.
I'm decent, bro. It's been raining in the A. damn near all week. So, motherfuckers been in the crib, but other than that, I really can't complain. It was good to be back at the crib last weekend. Although as soon as I got there, the damn Ryan was shut down because the nigga got shot. But
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, it was great to be back in the city. My best friend, is having his first baby, having a baby boy. So, it was good to help celebrate with them. And then got back to the crib.
All right. Well, Dante just heard today that men can't say best friend when referring to their best friend.
That's added to the list. That's
That-
added
you
to
gotta
the
add
list.
that
list.
Shit,
It's not on the list. Well, I said my friend of 22 years,
Yeah. Shouts out to my girl L'Oreal from the Morning Hustle. She said that niggas can't have cats and they can't say they got the best friend. You gotta say that's my homie and my ace or some shit.
Yeah. My right hand man, you feel me?
There you go.
We on Facebook as well. Shout out to everybody on Facebook. This really blowing me. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It's really blowing me, but ain't nothing we can do about it. The show must go on. So anyway, man. I didn't ask Bang. Bang, how you feeling? My bad, bro.
Man, hey, look, I'm playing injured right now. Got a headache and shit, you know what I'm saying? But
Bang
we
is
got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Bang is
Yeah, I'm anti-medicine. I'm gonna make it through. Only medicine I hit up is like NyQuil or like Mucinex or some shit. But like anything pill form, I hate that shit. I already take enough. I ain't trying to take no Excedrin or no shit like that. Like unless it's really, really, really needed.
I be getting crazy headaches sometimes. I gotta do Excedrin to give me a fucking endorsement.
Yeah,
Gotta
but
be-
it's
gotta-
RNC. Yo, it's Trump night at the RNC. You know what I'm saying? He's speaking today. Hulk Hogan gonna be speaking at this bitch
Of course.
too. You know what I'm saying? What you
course.
gonna do when the Hawkster run wild on
What you
you?
gonna do when racism run wild on you?
All right. Shout out
that
to my
shit.
my unproblematic goat, Stone Cold, somewhere getting drunk on a farm somewhere. You feel me? Like
Unproblematic.
I can't fucking stand Hulk Hogan. I ain't
You know,
mean
it's
to go on a
funny if
random
you look at
tangent.
if you look at Stone Cold, you look like he don't like gay people, he don't like black people, none of that shit. But this nigga is like very inclusive. That's the word.
I think that's the right word.
What's the word they use here? Ally?
Yeah, he's an ally. Stone Cold Steve Ally. That's who that nigga is, man. But let's just get into it. I didn't, we're gonna start with the local hour. We're gonna be starting with the local hour every week now because Chicago Bears, man. They're gonna be the topic of conversation these next hot take sexy real perform. I mean, she needs to get in an arena somehow. She just canceled that damn tour. So wouldn't shock me. What's up? Hey man, so you promoters out there, stop putting artists on like fucking what's that shit called? Like stadium tours and they can't do stadiums. Like, stop it. That shit is bullshit. You know,
They cut off the whole back part and shit.
Yeah.
No, I feel you, and my whole thing is like, who the fuck do y'all think y'all are? Like to be in these arenas, G. Like Beyonce, Jay-Z, the stars sell out arenas, Hove, like big names. Like I don't know. I'm confused as to why we got so many people trying to make these arena tours happen, like trying to force this shit. It really don't make sense.
You know what really pisses me off about this is that I gotta pay $30 now. I gotta buy premiums for my page, Barber's Chair, and the Saving At the Halas page. Elon can eat a dick. That shit is fucking ridiculous, man. Anyway, man. He said, have y'all tried Real American beer from Hulk? No, I have not tried anything from Hulk Hogan. It's not 1992. No, I have not. But shout out to Gustavo, man, one of our regular watchers. Shout out to everybody. It's only 15 of y'all in here right now because this nigga Elon is taking over our podcast. But you know what? We're going to put up a hell of a show for you 15 niggas watching right now. So I'm definitely going to clip the fuck out of this when I get back to Chicago because I'm getting my views, nigga. I'm monetized. Niggas ain't fucking my money. Anyway, moving on. Tomorrow is reporting day for the NFL, well, at least for the Chicago Bears, for training camp. Tomorrow is basically like the fake media day. I don't even call it fake. Well, I say fake because they don't do it like the NBA where they have a full thing going on and shit. But I will not be there, but my brother Flows will be there for report day. All of the Bears players will be there talking to the media. We'll be speaking to Ryan Poles. You're going to be speaking to Matt Eberflus, Caleb Williams, Roma Dunze, DJ Moore, a whole bunch of people. Everybody gonna be there. It's gonna be like real first day of school vibes, man. So we're gonna preview everything with training camp. So I'm looking forward to that. And the first practice kicks off 9:30 in the morning on Saturday. Now the Bears are starting early this year because of course they have hard not only just hard enough, they have the Hall of Fame game. So they're gonna be having four what's preseason games this year. He said Scott looking like an aggressive coach. That's hilarious as hell. Put some respect. These are not cop shades, my nigga. They might look like from side. These are not cop shades. Put some respect on my name. But anyway, yeah, so we're just gonna get right into it with that. This past couple, I feel like this week, actually last week, we kind of hyped up a little bit talking about why Roma Dunze and Caleb Williams didn't sign their contracts. And like we all said, we didn't think there was any major thing. We just trying to do the media thing, get niggas talking and shit. But finally signed this week. I had the numbers in front of me, but then Elon fucked my whole shit up. So I'm gonna try to find that contract once again here for how much they did sign. First we're gonna go with Rome or Dunze. So Rome signed. Where's the Jeopardy music? Here we are. Rome signed a 4-year, $227 million contract, fully guaranteed, with the 5th-year team option. And then Caleb Williams, there was some back and forth going on with about what the actual language would be for his contract. I think there was a little bit of a conversation. He didn't want the franchise tag in there, but the language had been agreed to. And Caleb signed a 4-year, $39.49 million fully guaranteed deal with a $25.5 million signing bonus, man. So you had those two put together. Like I said last week, I wasn't worried about it because there was no way that Ryan Poles was going to be able to go through this whole thing of trying to get a new quarterback and, you know, starting this new regime and then have to play hardball with a guy who you basically broke the whole team down to have him be your fucking quarterback. There was no type of reason of that. I know there was a little bit of freaking out this week, and that's how I knew we were getting closer to training camp, but nothing about this was like, you know, weird to me. I'm actually respect Caleb for actually trying to see if he could get the franchise thing being taken away, because I think the franchise tag is bullshit to fucking begin with. But, you know, I feel like they're all ready to go, ready for a camp. Bane, what you think about, you know, I feel like the contract negotiations, how it played out and things like that?
I mean, it feels like to me we're going to see all of this on the first episode of Hard Knocks. That's what it feels like to me, and I think we had mentioned this on the show before, where it feels like that they were waiting for this, and that's what it looks like. I think on Caleb's contract, I saw them say yesterday that they were trying to do the stuff with the franchise tag, and you saw some stuff around LLCs and taxes and all of those things. But the deal was going to get done regardless. This was never going to be a situation where this would be some type of extended holdout, because the rookie wage scale is what it is. So you know what you're going to slot somebody by. It was just a matter of wording in contracts and stuff like that. But it was on brand, and when we live in a world of sports and entertainment, this looks like a great first episode of Hard Knocks.
Mikey, what'd you think about how this went? Was there any point of view we thought it might have been a little dicey and to get back to regular Bear shit with this contract negotiation?
Nah, I wasn't really concerned about it, just because, like Bang said, you know, the pay scale is what the pay scale is. You know, if you were going into any other field where you could kind of negotiate, you know, it's not like us. If we're going into an employer and we want to go ahead and probably counter offer on what our salary is going to be. The salary is what it is for pick 1-1, especially for the quarterback position. It was just that, you know, that offsetting language. I was never really worried about him, you know, not showing up to camp or this dragging on. You know, a lot of people brought up the whole Roquan shit, because Roquan, in a similar position, didn't have an agent, and he was kind of negotiating for himself, and he held out because of some language in the contract about, you know, not having to pay fines, you know, coming out of his contract, you know, due for any type of penalties or any type of like quarterback hits. It's a different situation, a linebacker and a quarterback, especially the quarterback of the franchise, who we hope, and, you know, pick number 1. He was going to be there. He was going to be, if it wasn't signed yesterday, it would have been signed today. If it wasn't today, it would have been tomorrow. Either way, he was going to be on the field Saturday. And the way I see it is, you can't get, you can't get something if you don't ask for it in negotiations. So that's the whole purpose of a negotiation. I thought it was really interesting, and you can see in his father's background. His father has a real big background in real estate and investment properties and stuff. The fact that they wanted to do the franchise tag, they wanted that to be removed. Obviously, the Bears said no. They wanted to get paid as an LLC, for tax purposes. They said no. And the NFL kind of said no. And then the last one was they wanted the contract to be given as a forgivable like loan, for like 10 years or something like that. So everything was kind of interesting. And I guess that this is stuff that we got to, probably prepare for, hearing from the NFL Players Association as we get further along, with CBA stuff. Caleb always was going to be somebody that wanted to change the game in multiple ways. And, we're kind of seeing it. So maybe we put this to the side and there might be more players that come out, and have some crazy requests in the future. But never no concern. It's business as usual. So just glad that they got it done. I'm just glad that we're already, we're here. It's this weekend.
By the way, fuck Elon again, but I just paid the 5, so we are live on Twitter, at least on my Twitter right now. That 15 watcher was pissing me off, so I was like, throw this nigga in $11 real quick. Remember when Rihanna was on the BET Awards and she threw that money at Stephen Hill? Like that's how I just feel like 2 seconds.
I forgot about that shit.
Yeah, like she was pissed. But Dante, what you think about the contract negotiations and how everything played out this week?
I mean, it really wasn't much of a negotiation. Like Mikey said, the numbers are the numbers. That's thanks to the terrible NFL CBA. But yeah, they have a rookie slots, and so it was really nothing to debate about. I appreciate Caleb asking, don't use the franchise tag. Because like we said, we know the NFLPA has been bad and made a lot of deals that don't really benefit the players. And so, I give him the E for effort on that one. But at the same time, we knew what this was going to be. We knew they were going to sign. We knew they were going to be Chicago Bears and be on time. One thing about Ryan, I was about to call him Ryan Pace. Ryan Poles is, he's got his guys into camp and he's gotten them, acclimated to what they're trying to do. I know the results of the last few years weren't nearly what we expect them to be this year. But I think at the same time, this is his MO. So he's going to get his guys signed, get them in there. So I was never worried about it. I'm just ready to see him get to work.
And kudos to him and kudos to Ryan Poles. There are no contract issues. There's nobody that's talking about holding out. There's no issue. Everybody should be, locked and ready there Saturday. So shout out to him for having everything in order, and anything that's pending is, shit that could wait, a couple months or, for next off season.
Definitely want to have that in order. So really, the only thing you'll be worrying about is football. So that's a good thing to him, man. But let's talk about the hype train, man. Let's get into the hype train of training camp, man. Me and Bang were kind of talking about this a little bit in the pre-show. What we were talking about, how the storylines are coming out right now, where everybody's like, hey, it's Caleb Williams is gonna struggle, Jaden Daniels is gonna come out and cook. I think right now, if you're a Bears fan, you need to be prepared for this stuff, because there's a lot of Bears fans that in general, we don't like when other people talk about our team. And I get that, but now you're in a new era. You wanted the stuff that comes with having a potential superstar quarterback. And I say potential because he's not there yet. This is the type of stuff you got to deal with. Now, I do believe there is a thing called Bears tax. I think that Bears tax is being hit heavily right now, because I do believe Caleb Williams got drafted by any other team, we would not be sitting up here having this fucking conversation. I truly believe that. But I think right now it's going to be Bears overload in the media. You're going to start seeing national media who never paid attention to this team before. I mean, you got Bart Scott up here saying shit like, don't have Matt Eberflus ruin 2 quarterbacks. Matt Eberflus didn't ruin fucking Justin Fields. Like, when he got there, it was already a fucked up situation for Justin Fields. So it's like those type of talking points, people who never paid attention to the Bears before Caleb Williams getting there, that you're going to get. Everything's going to be over the top. I think that's something we need to be paying attention to as well, that everything's going to be over the top of this coverage. I mean, this team's going to be on Hard Knocks. So, it's going to be the first thing you read about or watch on Pat McAfee or Rich Eisen or all the hot NFL shows. They're going to be talking about that. When Caleb Williams has a great practice, it's going to be on fire. When he has a bad practice, it's going to be, the fucking, the world is falling apart. It's going to be those type of things, man. So I just really want Bears fans to be prepared for that type of stuff right now, and really myself too as a media member, because I still got that fan in me where I want to react. I wanted to react to that this morning, but I didn't react to it. But that's the type of things I think we're gonna be watching this couple weeks. So here comes the Bears media hate. I don't know if it's I don't know what the Bears did to niggas. I think it's kind of like with the Knicks when niggas just like making fun of the Knicks. Hollywood Scott, yes. And when in Rome, do as. It says, what's another question? Is the Bears tax or reasonable doubt? There's a difference between have reasonable doubt and coming out and shitting on something right away, especially when somebody who's been overly dominant like Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams by far has had a better college career than Jaden Daniels. Not only has he by far had a better college career, he's by far in a better system than Jaden Daniels. So having that's the difference between Bears tax and having a franchise, me and being having a doubt about a franchise having good quarterback play when you're using somebody who wasn't as good in college in them. It's bullshit. That's what I think it is. Now, do the Bears gained any favors from the media? No, but I think the piling on. My problem with the piling on is to be reasonable with your shit. Actually know what the fuck you're talking about. Like Jaden Daniels, I think he's a good quarterback. But I don't know why the fuck we're acting like the Commanders is just some amazing organization and some amazing place for rookie quarterback to be in. And I'm not saying that Jaden Daniels is going to have a bad rookie year. I'm not saying that Jaden Daniels is going to be a bad quarterback. But I think when we're doing the things where if let's just say the Commanders drafted Caleb Williams, we wouldn't be hearing none of this bullshit we're hearing right now. So that's why I think it's Bears tax. Mikey, what do you think about the hype train is coming? Do you think that as you as a Bears fan that you're prepared for it, or Bears fans that you're prepared for it? And do you think it's all Bears tax, or maybe it's just the Bears that have been asked for so long that people just want to stomp on them?
Well, I'll go with the latter part. Obviously, the Bears have been asked for so long, so it's kind of rare for for the organization to consistently be the first NFL topic that's discussed on Get Up, on First Take, on all of these shows. So you have a little bit of that, but also I think it's just agenda season. I think it's just programming season. Like we were talking about it early in the group chat. This is a slow week for sports. The Euro Cup finished, the Copa finished, MLB All Star game, WNBA's in the All Star break. There's not shit going on. The summer league, you got these motherfuckers. You got Alex Sarr going 0 for 15 and Bronny, not doing shit. So there's nothing to talk about. So last week, if you were paying attention to ESPN, everything was Bears can go to the Super Bowl. Bears can win the division. How good can Caleb Williams be? Can Caleb Williams be Rookie of the Year and MVP? This week, now we're starting to get hit with the slow it down. Yesterday, Dan Orlovsky came out and said that Caleb Williams is he does not expect Caleb Williams to have kind of like the season that CJ Stroud had, his rookie year, for like a bunch of fucking bullshit reasons, saying that Ohio State's offense is different from USC and what USC does to Shane Waldron. It was all types of shit. So I just feel like now we're kind of like they're you know what I'm saying? Like they know what they're doing because it's a job. It's all about ratings. It's all about to get attention. So I think Bears fans I just don't think we're ready for that, honestly, because they're the beloved. We love the Chicago Bears. We love our football team. Anytime anybody says anything negatively about our football team, you see a million quotes. You see a million, different people with Caleb Williams, Abby's coming out. I think today, one of the aggregators, the Ari Meverov or whatever, he posted the video, man, the fucked up video of the Randall Cobb touchdown from that last game against the Packers, where the broken coverage were under 30 seconds.
Oh my God.
Because he retired, and you just see mad Bears fans out of nowhere. Fuck this, fuck Randall Cobb, fuck you, I'm blocking you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're just not ready for that. So, and we're not going to be used to Hard Knocks. We're not going to be used to the primetime games. If Caleb is what they say he is, we're not going to be used to seeing him on national commercials. We saw Justin Fields commercials, Dunkin' Donuts, everything that was kind of local. If he is who he is and this organization is going to take that next step, then the world, the United States football fan base, the world, and Bears fans are going to have to deal with the reality that the Bears are going to be discussed more frequently in lights that they might not want to hear.
I'm 100% agree. Bears fans are 100% not ready. Like it's it's
I'm
gonna
not
be a
ready.
lot of that.
I'm not
I'm
ready.
not ready either. To be completely
Yeah,
honest with
yeah.
you, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not ready either. Bang, what you think about all this? You're the media guru here.
Yeah, just looking at it from the other side, yeah, because the Bears are in the third biggest media market in the United States. They're a charter franchise in the NFL, and they are a franchise who's never really had consistent success at the quarterback position. Yeah, we're gonna get all of it, and then you put them on Hard Knocks. People are gonna be scrutinizing every move. I'm not mad at the Washington thing because if you watch and if you saw it, Booger McFarland is the one who started it. And Booger McFarland, after the pro day of Jaden Daniels, was right along with another person, Lewis Riddick, saying that, yo, I think that Jaden Daniels is going to be the better quarterback of the two. So when he says it, then you ask the question, and now you have to entertain it. And the producers, in this case, did a good job in helping entertain the circus. But as I had told you in the pre-show, and what I'll say here is, what irritates me is that a lot of people do these takes and they don't research before they do the take. And what I mean by that is this: both teams had a last place finish. But one of the two teams have possibly the easiest schedule in the NFL, a top three easy schedule in the NFL. That's the Bears. The Bears don't play a division foe until the back half of the season. That's another thing right there too. When a lot of people say, "Oh, I think they're going to falter. I think this person is not going to be as good as advertised," the Bears also finished 7-10. They finished 7-10 with a quarterback situation that was less than ideal. So, last place schedule, 7-10, much improved defense, an improved offense. You have three number ones. If you think about it, you have three wide receivers that could be capable of being the number one. You don't have that with the Commanders. If I look at the running back situation, Austin Eckler is not better than DeAndre Swift.
No, he's not.
The only wide receiver that's on the level of the Bears, top three, is Scary Terry. The tight end, Cole Kmet, is better than any tight end that's over there with the Commanders. The Commanders' offensive line is not better than the Bears. The only thing they have is a new coach. Now, I did say last week that the Commanders, I have a feeling, is going to be my surprise team, but that don't mean that Caleb is not going to be as good as Jaden Daniels. Everything is set up for Caleb to do what he needs to do. And as we've been saying since the draft, if Caleb is who we think he is, the Bears should be okay. But I do understand the whole thing about the media side of it, because the other thing is, too, is you always going to get this when the two quarterbacks go 1-2. You're always going to have this conversation. Quarterbacks, not only two quarterbacks went 1-2, two Heisman Trophy quarterbacks went 1-2. So we're going to get the comparison with them for the rest of their career, unless one of them fall off. Unless one of them fall completely off of a cliff, we're going to get a comparison between these two quarterbacks, because one went 2, both won Heisman trophies. They're both won high profile franchises as well. So just be prepared for not only this year, but for the rest of their careers.
I think this is gonna be a real training course for Bears fans this year. Like as far as like having to prepare for what we've all wanted, which we wanted is a 21st century quarterback and the things that come with that. Dante, what do you think about the hype train and how Bears fans? I'm gonna frame this question. How do you think Bears fans should handle it? Here's a better question to ask. How should Bears fans handle it?
Embrace it all. Embrace it all. Stop with the scary shit. I'm not saying go out here and predict a Super Bowl, but like, if anything, live in the moment. I think a lot of times we do a lot of projecting, and then as Bears fans, we live, as we all know, we live in the past a lot. I'm not gonna sit here and do my usual. I'm not tired of the '85 Bears shit, but at the same time, this franchise is stuck in the past in a lot of ways, but that's been the breath of fresh air with Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles, is that it feels like we're finally joining the modern football era and we're trying to actually do this shit the right way. And so for me as Bears fans, it's like, yeah, I understand all the losses. I understand the fact that we've never had a true franchise quarterback, but at the same time, we've never had a front office like this. We've never had a front office that they are actual football guys. You feel me? Like, it's one of those things where, pretty much told you, hey, yeah, no, I'm not a football guy. I'm a fan. Ted Phillips got the job because he was the family accountant. You feel me? So, like, this was a situation where you didn't have football guys running your team, and now it's completely different. So I think in terms of the hype, embrace it all. Expect people to hate, like we've told you, Bang Wom's game has confirmed all of this. People, they live off the hype. The hype, the outrage, that outrage, that just drives engagement. So they expect Bear fans to be pissed off and be sitting there, oh fuck y'all don't watch the Bears. They know they know they don't really watch the Bears. So I mean,
don't keep doing it.
Yeah, they're gonna just keep doing it to bait you in. So I would just say, in terms of dealing with other fans or other members of the media, just don't expect the most. They're gonna just say this is the same doormat, because I mean that's what we've been. We've been the Browns with that Super Bowl. So just enjoy it, embrace it, and really ride the wave and just live in the moment.
B-Dot is our resident Packers fan. He said, fuck y'all. I'm worried y'all might take one from this year on paper. My only advice, my only thing I'm going to say to Packer fans, don't marry her too quickly. What I mean by that is y'all niggas went on a couple fire dates with Jordan Love, and y'all ready to put a ring on it already. That long-term contract. Let the nigga rock for a little bit. Now, I'm not even saying this as a hater of the Packers. I'm saying this as a football guy. I need to see more. I promise you, he was asked for a nice little stretch last year. He bounced back, played really, really good during this stretch. I think he had like 5 or 6 really, really good games towards the end, got them into the playoffs. They won a playoff game, and he threw a crazy, hilarious pass to Greenlaw at the end of that divisional game against the Niners. But I have some people talking about max contract extensions. My nigga, chill. Let's relax. Don't be married. Don't marry her that damn quick. That's the only thing I'm gonna say to Pack fans. Outside of that, like I said last year, I'm not picking the Bears beat the Packers until them niggas do it. I have learned my fucking lesson 100%. But let's talk about how grading Caleb, like how that should go. Because I feel like obviously that's gonna be a big part of emphasis starting Saturday, especially with one thing I learned last year, which was annoying, which every Justin practice felt like life or death. Now obviously this is a different situation. Justin was in year 3 and we needed Justin to really knock it out the park to be able to come back this year, and obviously he didn't because he's not here. But it was one of those things where I would tweet something like, oh, today's wasn't Justin's best practice. I'm like, well, so and so Dan Wiederer said this. I'm like, fuck what Dan Wiederer said. I got eyes too. Like I know what I saw. Like, and so I feel like the proper way for me, and I think I've been saying this for months, and this is not a cop out. I keep saying it. There's multiple. I mean, there's a lot of expectations, rightfully so. He's still a rookie. He's gonna fuck up. I'm not. His fuck ups is gonna be different than others because he has a softer landing spot. Obviously, he has the training wheels are there. It's gonna be easy. Most rookie quarterbacks aren't number one being named the starter out the jump. Number one, number two, they're not blessed to be throwing the football to DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Roma Dunze, Cole Kmet, DeAndre Swift. So he's got a much softer landing, and it's going to be easy for him to get through these hurdles. But there's going to be hurdles. That's just what it is. I mean, we saw it, in the WNBA with Caitlin Clark. She just had 19 assists last night. She's getting a hold of it. I think that the first, I'm not saying that he's going to struggle, but I do think that, in the first week, you're going to see some up and downs because it's camp. You know what I'm saying? That you're going into full, game mode. And honestly, you want to give them the struggles out. If you're going to struggle anywhere, it's going to be in practice. You're going to be going up against a top defense, a defense that's been a top 5 defense since week 7 of last season. So, iron sharpens iron. We saw some struggles doing OTAs, even though they weren't going as full speed as this. I think there's something that for a Bears fan, at least and also me as a media member too, I try not to, put too much dip on it when he's having a great practice and not act like the world is falling when he's having a bad practice. I think there's going to be ups and downs, and just know that, once the whole thing is over, I feel like we can do a better grade. But I know it's going to be my mentions are going to be on fire every practice as far as how to grade it. But I think that we should have high expectations. like Dante said, stop with the scary shit, but also still be reminded that there's going to be some struggles because he is a rookie. Mikey, what do you think is the best way that you think the media should cover Caleb in this camp, and how Bears fans should receive it?
I'll do you one better. I'll just go to like the Caleb aspect and the offense aspect. I think early on, um, we need to not hear any of that. The defense is ahead of the offense. We need to see Caleb with his talent, with his ability, and with those wide receivers, like actually put some pressure on the defense in practice. Where we got people like you, Flows, the reporters for the press publications in the city actually coming out and saying like this shit looks different. Like the offense is actually putting some pressure on the defense. Caleb is making throws, different arm angles, different slots, the cadence. And that's what we want to see, because we're so used to just dealing with the defense is ahead of the offense. The defense is ahead of the offense. Oh, don't worry, it's time. And like, for how many years have we seen that? How many times do you see that? And you, as somebody that covers a team, and you engage with your followers, you get that back and forth. Like, oh, Caleb has some good throws, but the defense is ahead. Oh, but so and so said this. Jason Leisure said this, and it's like, no, I would like it to be uniform. If the offense could go ahead and kind of establish a rhythm, because we know that the defense, this is a veteran laden team. They're returning a lot of people. We got a veteran and Kevin Byard now that's replacing Eddie Jackson. So I don't really expect them to be kind of, behind the eight ball. I want the offense to come out and kind of put some pressure on them. Go ahead, make some throws, and really show the defense that like, hey, this isn't what you were used to the last few years. Like this isn't going to be, we're not going to sugarcoat it. Caleb Williams is fucking y'all up. The passing game is fucking y'all up. DeAndre Swift is, proving to be a threat, one-on-one with these linebackers catching out of the backfield. So I think that's the best way just to kind of like grade it. Obviously he's going to have up and down practices. But to get positive feedback and reviews coming out of camp early, I think is best for the offense, best for Caleb, best for Roma Dunze. There's a lot of the whole entire offense outside of the line and DJ Moore is fairly new. This is a new offensive scheme. You got a new head coach, you got a new wide receiver coach, or new offensive coordinator, sorry. New tight end coach, new wide receivers coach.
New wide receiver coach, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, new wide receiver coach. You got two new wide receivers. You got a new tight end in Gerald Everett. You got a new safety. I mean, not a new safety. You have a new center and a new, combo. Two centers with one of them in Ryan Bates that can actually play guard. So and then you have DeAndre Swift. So there's gonna be a lot of adjustments. But I think this is good to kind of catch the defense off guard, because the defense, hopefully they don't, they're caught off guard by a more talented quarterback than Justin Fields was, and new weapons. So I just think if they hit the ground running and make some splash plays early, and Caleb can progress from what he showed in the rookie mini camps and those OTAs, I think that's the biggest thing. Come in on Saturday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever the practice days are after Saturday, and show that what they wanted him to work on, over the back end of May and June, like he actually worked on it and has gotten better. Because that's only going to benefit him, because like you said, he's the starter. He's the bona fide starter. It's all on him.
I agree with that. You bring up some good points. It's kind of like Dante was you were saying too. Like, I think one thing I'll give Bears media, I think, and obviously I'm biased in this, but not just me and my brother, but I think for the most part, the Chicago Bears media, when it comes to reporting the facts, are pretty spot on. Now, whether Bears fans want to hear that shit is a different story. But I think the reporting of it has been pretty good. But Mikey, the point that you had that I agree with is Bears fans demand more, as far as like when you hear, oh, the defense is ahead of the offense. We don't want to hear that anymore. Like, we want to hear that the splashes at the offensive making. Now, that doesn't mean, push the panic button, but that's why I also want to see how these preseason games go. But we'll get into that in Flus in a minute. Dante, what you feeling about how we should correctly be judging Caleb doing these practices for training camp?
I mean, I've already told y'all that my expectations are ridiculous, but I think as far as practice, like at the end of the day, it's still practice. So while I feel like, of course we want to hear that, the offense is on the same level as the defense. I think that was a polite way of saying Justin ain't who y'all think he is. Like just looking back, taking the motion out of it. I think it was one of those things where it was like, had the offense been, performing well, they would have said that. But that's that's why I always like when we have our conversations, I always shout out Brass because he was the first one who was like, they not really throwing the ball downfield. Like he said it, I think after the first couple practices, and everybody else was like, oh, you hating this shit.
Or even
like, bro.
But even Dante, to your point, if you go back to this is the same shit we were hearing when Mitch was QB. It's always been that. So to switch it up. Like we as Bears fans, we would be a little bit more comfortable. We would feel better about it if we say, yo, the offense is kind of putting it on the defense. Like we are not going to be like, oh fuck, we're not going to start panicking about the defense. We're going to be like, shit, we got an offense that's legit, like we expect it to be. The defense will figure it out.
Yeah, but though at the same time, as far as like judging Caleb, if our defense is good as we think it'll be, like he's not going to have great practices. Like he shouldn't be out there just lighting shit up. Like that shouldn't be the case at all. So I think just again, like I said in my first answer, like we got to really just live in the moment and enjoy this shit. It's going to be ups. It's going to be downs. I think we're so quick to try to really, like you said, play the long game. And the reality is, bro, like we really are years away from seeing what Caleb can truly be. Like he is a rookie. As much as I've been sitting here saying he's going to have a CJ Stroud, like he's still a rookie. Like he still has time to develop, get better, grow.
And CJ had some growing pains last year too.
Yeah, not that many, but yeah. Man, it was like,
but at the beginning, at the beginning of the
3 or
season,
4 game stretch where he was.
No.
What games was y'all watching?
He had 3 picks, 2 of them in one game, and he did that with playing 1 game less too. Like CJ did what he needed to fucking do.
I ain't saying he was throwing hella picks, but it wasn't like he came out the gate and it was consistently like that. Like the first couple of games, it was like he was still like getting into it, and then after that bad game, it was like, all right, we're taking it, and we're running off to the division title and a second round playoff berth. I mean, look, Dante said it. As far as the defense thing, if the defense is who we think the defense is, if the defense is the same defense that was one of the best, if not the best, in the league for the back half of the year, the offense should struggle. They should. That should. That doesn't mean that they're going to struggle against them other defenses, though. Iron sharpens iron, steel sharpens steel. So if you're going up against a great defense and you have a rookie quarterback, a rookie wide receiver, another wide receiver who's just getting there, an offense who has to learn a brand new system, they should struggle. But it also should make them better. And that's what I hope Bears fans understand. That they're not just jumping out the window just because, like, oh, man, Caleb threw 2 interceptions in practice. First of all, who's counting? Like, why are we counting interceptions in practice?
You be niggas be counting.
Oh, no, I'm just saying, like, why? Like, I mean, I know they're going to do it, but it's like, why? But at the same token, the Bears have a dope defense. This offense should struggle. They should improve throughout camp, but they should struggle in the beginning. And the struggle is going to make them a better team to begin with.
Hey, real quick,
go ahead,
just so we could put this whole CJ Stroud thing to rest for one last time. His first 4 games, he threw 6 touchdowns, had 0 interceptions, and in 3 of those games, he had a QBR over 110. Okay. So the whole slow out the gate, no, it wasn't shit slow, brother. They lost, but it wasn't slow. Like he had, like Mikey said, he had a game. So like when that's what keeps my hopes high with the bullshit I be saying about he need to go score, throw 26, 30 touchdowns, because it's like, no, he can do it. Like
CJ gave you everything you want to see out of a quarterback.
Bro, everything.
Game winning comeback drives against the bank, all types of crazy shit. So I get it. We did. I mean, we got to go back, but I think I was always consistent. 3,500 yards, 26 total touchdowns, and I said 10 picks, which is high, but you get that for a rookie with that output. You know, those are career numbers for a Bears quarterback.
Yeah, I forgot what I think I said. Like, what did I say? Like 28. I think I said 28 touchdowns, 10 picks, and 3,500 yards is my prediction. But well, yeah. So my CJ Stroud take was debunked. So we're gonna move on to our next.
That's the second one. Y'all don't. If anybody who don't watch the Patreon, y'all got to tap in. We had to put to bed the whole Jon Snow shouldn't have been king thing. Like,
yeah.
Let that go.
As I was rewatching, I'm on my Thrones rewatch, and I'm on the final episode right now. When Dante told me, I'm like, damn, this nigga, stop being so fucking noble, nigga. Take the damn throne, man. Like that shit was ridiculous.
But it shouldn't have been Brand.
Fuck.
If it was gambling odds, if there were gambling odds, his shit would have been high.
Here's the question for you though. Okay, since John didn't want it, if it wasn't gonna be Brown, who's it gonna be? Danny crashed out.
It had to be Danny, man.
He crashed out. She went full her daddy.
Yeah, but I mean,
and
I still would have put my money on her.
Yeah, I wouldn't put. Look, man. First of all, yeah, I told Dante this on the show. Something about that Targaryen wig, bro. Like Amelia Clark. Without that, she a cute white woman, but with the wig, that's a bad bitch right there. Respectfully.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you want to hear me and Dante talk Thrones, subscribe to the Patreon, man. Patreon.com/Barbershop Network. But we're talking about grading. We're talking about grading Caleb Williams. Let's talk about how grading Matt Eberflus. Because nigga, you ain't off the hook either. Matt Eberflus, and this is third year being coach. I don't know if this nigga's a good coach or not. I think it's impossible to know. I think he made some strides last year. Going from a 3-win team to a 7-win team should be applauded. But also at the same time, you can applaud it because this could have been a 10-win team if it wasn't for certain coaching decisions. Now, I was leading he lose if it's a bad season, he's getting fired. Mikey and Dante and Bang, y'all convinced me that he's not. Then also hearing around the building, that nigga's safe. He's not going anywhere, so it's not a hot seat in this particular situation. But it is also something where he's got to actually show some improvement. Like he's putting so much on him. Like you've been gifted a fucking Maserati with very low mileage. You got to go out there and do what you got to do. So I think like when it comes to grading, I mean, and that's really only so much you can grade in training camp. But this is what I want them to do. I want them to take every fucking preseason game serious. That's what I want. I've been on record saying I don't think that Caleb Williams is even going to do anything besides eat candy on the sideline of in Canton for the Hall of Fame game. But I would hope that he's like, look, third year where this is a team where the rebuild is over, nigga. We trying to win. You know what I'm saying? That's something where we need to do right now, that we need to win. Let's give these niggas some go. And I know a lot of people be worried about injuries and things like that, and I get it. But I'm gonna be real with you. This is football, bro. You can't stop injuries. You can't control them. They're gonna happen. Injuries in the NFL aren't a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So you can not play all preseason. He tears Achilles in the first fucking play. We saw with Aaron Rodgers last year. So you can't protect anybody from it. So what I want to see from I want all four, at least 3 out of 4, not the last one. You can let the last one slide because you usually only have 3 preseason games anyway. But treat those 3 preseason games like preseason games. Get the kinks out. I know a lot of people talking about, oh, it's a soft schedule. Yeah, nigga, but those first couple of games can go anyway. Like I don't know why niggas is acting like that Tennessee game is finna be some easy thing. Like I just don't see. I think that's gonna be a dog fight.
I started looking at some additions that they made, and I'm like, wait, hold up, now they got a nice little secondary, yeah. Bro. I forgot that they went and got L'Jarius Sneed.
They got L'Jarius Sneed. You know, I'm not a big Will Levis guy, but he can make plays. You know, he is.
And their wide receiver matchup is going to be, it's going to be right out the gate for Jalen Johnson and for Tyreek Stevenson in that secondary.
Yeah, exactly. So that take advantage of it now. Get the kinks out now. Do all the things you need to do in these first couple preseason games, man. That's what I want to see. And also, as a media member, I want him. I think he's done a very, very good job of this on the offseason program. And that nigga got a haircut and he like a different dude. Is be put whole guys accountable. That and I think he's done a good job of that. Keep doing that. That's what I want to see from Flus at least in training camp. Bang, what do you want to see from Flus from training camp, and how do you think we should be what's what I'm looking for, grading him and camp and just going forward?
I want the defense to grow. Like that. The whole thing about this is that I think we're overrating this situation when it comes to Flus, because Flus is the head coach of the team, but he's not the head coach of the offense. So I'm hoping that Flus can continue the growth of this defense. I'm hoping that they can find him a defensive end to go up with Montez Sweat, whether it is DeMarcus Walker, maybe Austin or Booker can show some stuff. Maybe they sign somebody. I want to see the improvement or the continued improvement from what we hear with Gavon Dexter Sr. I'm looking at that linebacker core, that cornerback room I ain't got no problems with. So I'm really looking at that defensive line and seeing where and the improvement there. That's what I'm looking at for Flus, because while he is the head coach, Shane Waldron is overseeing the offensive side of the ball. So I think it's a two-sided question when you talk about Flus and what you would like to see. I would like for him to continue to grow for the defense, but he ain't coaching the offense. Shane is going over here telling them, "Hey, this is what's going on over here," and he said, "All right, let me know what else you need." Bet.
So you need him to be the CEO head coach that he said he was going to be.
Yeah, he's gonna be he's the CEO head coach. He has no choice. He has no choice in this situation. He's not an offensive guy, so he's gonna let his leaders lead. So depending on what we get out of Shane, that's more of an indictment on Shane and not Flus, because Shane is overseeing the offense.
Dante, man, what you think about how we should grade Flus?
This is my thing with the whole, grading coaches. So far, what we've seen is that the Bears have a plan and they have a vision that they're trying to execute. So as far as grading him, the only thing I'm really grading him on is how he continues to craft his defense. Clearly, like I said, they tapped in with each other, top to bottom, and there's been a steady flow of communication about what they want, what they need, and the defense performed a lot better when he took over and started calling the plays. So I think for me, that's what I want to see. What we've seen anytime he's mic'd up is that he has a great relationship with his players. So that's something I'm not worried about. I think, that helps a team grow and also, keeps a team together. Those Falcons teams, when Dan Quinn was the head coach, even though I didn't want him to be the coach of the Bears, one thing I could say is that, they were a very
That's an understatement. You almost called me out my name multiple times. I even brought that nigga up.
I mean, it was crazy, and you're going to see why in Washington. But I mean, yeah, I think as far as grading Flus, I think it's really just going to be more so how he puts that defense together, because they constructed an offensive staff for Caleb. Half of them are his people, you feel me? So it's really one of those things where I'm not worried what he does on that side of the ball. More than anything, just don't overstep. Don't go over there and try to do something that's not in your bag. And he didn't do that with Justice, so I don't think he'll do that with Caleb.
Mikey, you said the same thing that I was saying about more emphasis on preseason. What else you think the Flus needs to do to take advantage of these next 6 weeks?
Nah, just kind of reiterate, what Bang and Dante said. Last year he took over, he is a defensive minded head coach, but you could tell the first 2 years he was kind of, for the first season and a half, he was just kind of trying to be, the CEO of the entire team. And then, with what went on last year, with having to take over as the defensive coordinator and call plays. I thought he did a really good job. I also thought he had some rust and he tweaked on a couple play calls in pivotal moments. I'm looking at that Cleveland Browns game. I'm looking at that Lions game. So those were big moments. So I think now being able to go into the offseason, being able to know from, the final exit interview with the media, he went ahead and said, yeah, we will be hiring somebody, but I still will be calling the defense. So I think being able to go into it with a clear mind, knowing that he's calling the defense, I just want to see him sharpen that up, get those guys right. And then just as far as playing time, he did come out and say that they've looked at some of the past rookies and they've realized, they probably could have and should have played Justin Fields a little bit more in previous, preseason games. So I think he said anywhere between 60 to 70 snaps for Caleb Williams, and that could come in various ways. A snap is considered handing the ball off, whatever, but just getting repetition, being able to go out there. We got to also remember Caleb, comes from a system where he played a lot out of shotgun. The Shane Waldron system is kind of going to have him under center. They're going to be mixing it up a bit. So I think just going ahead, giving Caleb those 60 to 70 snaps, and however way they do it, I kind of am leaning towards, I was pushing against you for a while, pause on the Hall of Fame game, on him not playing. And I was on the side that I think he would go ahead and play, a series. We're going to have to see about that. We're going to have to see how they look in practice, but I think you're right. I think he doesn't touch the field that game, but I know he needs to come out and play the next three. And also, we got to keep in mind that I believe it's August 15th. They will be scrimmaging with the Bengals. So that's a good test, and they're going to probably go ahead and count that as a game as well. We know they did last year. As far as the injuries, just be cautious, be calculated. If everybody's healthy, I think people should be playing, just getting out there, getting reps, getting used to being hit, putting the pads on, going through your warm-ups, everything. But obviously, if you're down 3 starting linemen, you're down a wide receiver, etc. There's no reason to put Caleb out there and get him hurt, for an extended period of time.
100%. We got about 15 minutes left here in the local hour, man. Then we're gonna bring Courtney Collabro in the second hour. We're gonna be going over its list season. Mikey put some great lists in the chat today. We're going to debate about them. The ESPN's top 100 athlete list of the 21st century, the top 10 NFL wide receiver list. We're going to continue our Inside the Division series. Today, we're going to focus on the NFC South. And also, I'm going to say, well, I didn't really fuck with MLB All Star. Well, I'm kind of done with All Star games in general. We're going to get into that in the second hour with Courtney Collabro, man. But let's talk about surprise cuts. There's always surprise cuts every season in the NFL. I think was it last year? I think it was PJ Walker. Well, for me, it was a surprise cut. Well, it wasn't a surprise cut if you actually watched that nigga play because he was god awful in camp. But it was. I was surprised because they had just paid him that money. I think for me, I've been saying it all along, and I'm gonna continue to say it. I don't see a way where they bring in 3 running backs to start this season. This is not 2004. This is not the Duckett, Vick, and Dunn era. Like, no, nigga, there's gonna be only 2 backs. And not that there's really, I won't say it'll be a cut. I'll put like this. It might be a trade of one of these 2, but I believe that Khalil Herbert or Roschon Johnson are either gonna be a surprise cut or a late camp trading bait. Whoever comes out not having the best camp. Now, I would probably say, obviously, you get a little bit more for Khalil Herbert. He's a little more proven, and also because Ryan Poles drafted Roschon Johnson. So those are 2 eyes I've got on who, whether there'll be a surprise cut or whether it'll just be a late camp trade. Dante, do you have any surprise cuts or maybe some big names, whether it'll be a cut or being traded, who you don't think are going to be on the roster come week 1?
This may not be a surprise to people, but just because of the fact that he can't really stay healthy, I think Larry Borom might get cut. I think that might shock some people. We talked about it a few episodes ago, but I still think Khalil Herbert might get cut. I think those are really the 2 names that stick out the most to me until I can really do it. Oh, okay. Until I can do another.
So something about somebody being a crackhead. I was like, okay, let me see who this crackhead is.
But this until I can do a more deep dive into the depth chart and the position battles, I would say those are the 2 off the top of my head, Herbert and I think Larry Borom.
What you thinking of, Mikey?
I'm thinking of Khalil Herbert 100%. Just off the strength that we know that pass protection, pass catching is not his strongest suit. If you look back at the Shane Waldron running backs that were in the system, you had Kenneth Walker, you had Zach Charbonnet, and Travis Homer was there. They do both. Roschon Johnson can do both. I just think he needs to learn how to run with his fucking head up. Because if he's going to continue to keep running with his head down, he's going to have a very short NFL career with all these concussions. So I think Khalil Herbert might find himself being the odd man out just because DeAndre Swift is probably going to play about 60 to 70% of the snaps.
Oh, easily.
When you come in and Shane Waldron is somebody that doesn't like to, it's kind of like in baseball. It's late in the game, you're down one run, you get a runner on first with no outs. Everybody in the stadium knows that somebody's going to bunt. They're going to bunt that runner over. When you go ahead and you bring in Khalil Herbert, you're basically telling everybody like, yeah, we're gonna run the ball just because he's that bad at pass protection. You can't really rely on him catching the ball where you can as a Roshan Johnson. So I just think if you look at all things considered, last year Poles drafted his guy in Roshan Johnson. This year he goes and he gives a nice little bag to DeAndre Swift, clearly signaling that we need to upgrade and be more versatile at the running back position. And then when you look at somebody like Roshan Johnson, he's kind of more in the mode of DeAndre Swift, so you can see what Ryan Poles is looking for there. Khalil Herbert does not play special teams, whereas Roshan Johnson does, and so does Travis Homer. So I think if there's any surprise cuts, or in his situation, maybe a trade, maybe you package a 6th-round pick with him to a team maybe like the Cowboys, who haven't really picked up any major running backs.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
And you can get a 4th-round pick back for him. I think that's a no-brainer. If Roshan is stepping up, how we see. I think this all depends on Roshan because I think they want to move forward with Roshan. My surprise cut would be, and I know a lot of people might push against this, but it's Nate Davis. His inability to stay on the field, whether that's injury or personal, his inability to really kind of practice. I just don't think that this is the player that they thought they were getting when they signed for him. And remember, when he started going through his stuff last year, I started, kind of digging into it, and I was reading into, what a lot of Tennessee Titan beat reporters and stuff that was coming out of Nashville, and they weren't really. Mike Vrabel absolutely hated Nate Davis just because of his practice habits. Never felt like he was 100% committed. And it's kind of hard to, especially with a rookie quarterback, it's kind of hard to put somebody on that line that you might not feel is all the way committed to playing football 100%, at the way that you're trying to, teach your program and build your program. So you got to look at it, man. They gave up a pick for Ryan Bates. He played the majority of his time at right guard. They also like him at center, but then they go and they pick up somebody like Coleman Shelton out of the Rams, who started for the Rams to be a center. There's a possibility where you might get a Shelton at center and Ryan Bates at guard, and Nate Davis is either demoted to the bench or flat out cut, So it's going to be on him. I think with him, they're going to give him with Nate Davis, they're going to give him every opportunity to go ahead and kind of prove that, last year was just unfortunate and he's back up. But if you just look at it, he was out a couple weeks, a couple months ago in the OTAs and everything and not participating. So, how much longer can you go ahead, investing in somebody that, might not be all in?
Hey, and real quick, it's further proof that they really were interested in upgrading the running back position. We saw it on Hard Knocks when they said the Bears were driving up the market on Saquon Barkley.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I wonder if they were doing that. One thing about fucking Joe Shane, he don't seem really good at his fucking job.
I was about to say he kind of
he's really indifferent with shit.
Well, that's above me, big man. He told Saquon,
how we Puerto Ricans say he's on my mouth. He's just like an idiot. He's like on my mouth. He just slow and he just, I don't know. Him and the assistant GM, they're not giving off good vibes over there. I'm glad I'm not a New York Giants fan, but they were in. The very first signing that came through in free agency was DeAndre Swift. That was who they signed. So they clearly want to upgrade it, and they want people that are more versatile out of the backfield and can do multiple things. And Caleb, they're going to let Caleb throw the fucking ball.
Yeah.
So if you're going to have a running back out there in pass protection, you can't trust Khalil Herbert out there.
Bang, we're gonna go to you, then we're gonna combine the next two so we don't have Courtney in the green room too long. Go ahead. Who do you got is maybe a surprise cut?
I don't have no surprise cuts. I think if Nate Davis were to get cut, it's not gonna be a surprise. If Dominique Robinson were to get cut, it's not gonna be a surprise. If Khalil Herbert is traded, it's not going to be a surprise. I think that for the first time in quite some time, it is what it is. I have no surprises. I expect Nate Davis to not be there. I expect Khalil Herbert to get traded to Dallas for 6. I expect Dominique Robinson to get cut. I think everything else falls in place. Like when I look at the skill positions, Velvis, whatever you say that shit, he's gone.
Velveeta Jones.
I think it would be more of a. I'd be surprised if some of these players are still. I would be surprised if Nate Davis makes it to game 1. I would be surprised if Jones makes it game 1. Those are my surprises. I don't have a surprise cut because I think they're all going to be gone.
Final topic here in the local hour before we bring on hour 2, man. It's just kind of like a hot and cold thing, man. We're gonna do biggest camp fears and bold camp predictions. I'm gonna start off this one. Mine is actually pretty fucking simple. My biggest fear is I keep seeing the same bullshit I've seen at every Bears camp the last fucking 4 years I've been covering this team. That's my biggest fear. That I'm sitting here next to my guy Greg Braggs Jr. and I was there last year when Braggs was like, "Yo, they ain't really throwing deep like that." That's my big fear. That we're getting hyped up as Bears fans, and it's same shit, different toilet. That's my biggest fear. My bold prediction is that we ain't gonna have to worry about that shit, baby, because it's a new era. Caleb Williams is gonna have a good camp. Defense is gonna have a good camp. Flukes is gonna live up to that new haircut and be a good coach. Motherfuckers gonna get out of camp healthy. A lot of people forget we didn't have Kyler Gordon the first couple games. That's why that pass defense was looking kind of smelly until he got back. People are gonna be relatively healthy. And what I mean by relatively is that of course they'll have their little knacks and shit like that. Nobody comes out of camp unscathed. You're just playing football. But that is my bold prediction that it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be fine. You're gonna be able to relax and enjoy this team. That offsets my big fear and my bold prediction.
I get mine out the way right now, Scott. I ain't scared of shit. I ain't scared of the goddamn
that shit.
That's the goddamn problem. That's the goddamn problem with us right now. We're looking at some shit like, oh, that might happen. No, I ain't scared of shit. Dante said it. Mikey said it. Yo, it feels like the Bears have a plan in place. So the way that I feel, this is not a short-term thing. This is a long-term thing. So whether it happens next year, the year before, the year after, shit, if it happens this year, I feel like for the first time in quite some time that the Bears are in position to have long-term success. So I ain't scared of shit. I'm here for the ride. Let's go. Claw.
First of all, yeah, go ahead. I was gonna say something. Never mind. Go ahead, Dante.
The only fears I have are the same fears I have every training camp, and that's somebody important get hurt. I ain't gonna say no names, put no energy into the air, but y'all know who I'm talking about. So that's really my only fear. And in terms of predictions, I got 2. I think now that Sweat is fully immersed in the defense and Blues can scheme around him, I think the defensive line is going to look a lot better than we think. I know a lot of people have been saying that, we didn't go get enough people, but I think the defensive line with a full-year Montez Sweat will look a lot better. And my second one, this ain't really bold, but I think Roma Doomsday is going to be a fucking animal. Like that's one person I think he's going to excel from day one. And, as long as his hamstrings are good, we going to be good. But that's probably my other prediction. I think Rome is going to really show those people who are saying, yo, we need to re-sign Keenan Allen. So like, we can kind of let that nigga go, depending on how much money you want.
Mikey, take us home on this topic.
In the words of Jabril Peppers, we want that ball, fuck him. I'm not worried about shit, except like what Dante said, somebody on the offense. There's one player on offense that I don't want to get hurt, and there's one player on defense that I don't want to get hurt. It's a guy that got a big bag last year that we traded for. So as long as Montez Sweat stays healthy and as long as Caleb Williams stay healthy, then I'm not worried about shit. My biggest prediction, the Bears will have 3 Pro Bowl players on offense this year, and they're going to be 3 names that you do not expect. Well, 2 names that you don't expect out of the 3. Caleb Williams will be a Pro Bowl quarterback as a rookie. Cole Kmet will be a Pro Bowl tight end, and Darnell Wright will be a Pro Bowl right tackle.
That would be
those are
amazing.
my predictions. Those are my predictions. I think Cole Kmet has a really big year as the security and safety blanket for Caleb Williams. I think that's something we probably going to see in camp and on Hard Knocks. I think they're going to have a pretty nice connection. From a lot of stuff that I was reading, and Scott, from a lot of stuff that you were kind of bringing back to us, they really want Caleb to not really go ahead and take those, take that risk and kind of run out with the ball and try to make the hero play. I think they really want him to attack that middle intermediate area of the field because they know what he could do with the deep ball and with the wide receivers he has. But attacking the intermediate part of the field, something that, the previous quarterback really wasn't that good at, I think is huge. I think Cole Kmet last year having almost 80 receptions was huge. And I think he's just going to take another step.
I just saw what you said, Dante. I was like, what the fuck? I'm not eating hummus, nigga. All right, anyway. Well, anyway, that's all we got for this first hour, the local hour. As I said, we're doubling down on Bears content all season. The local hour will be kicking off the show. We'll have more details about that when the actual season gets closer to it. So we back in about 15 seconds. We're gonna start hour 2, and we're gonna bring Courtney in.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the.
And we are back for hour 2 of I'm Not Gonna Hold You, the off season. The world. We gotta put like a name to this. We're gonna call we need like a tagline. The world's most, I don't know, unserious sports show, I guess is what you want to say. When people ask me what the show's about, I'm like, we just talk about sports and like it's sophisticated barbershop talk. Because if you step into a barbershop, you're not gonna hear the smart things that come out of 5 of our mouths. Like you're gonna hear niggas net tomorrow. You know who better than Caleb? That's a nigga over here on 63rd. That nigga just never got an opportunity though. That nigga, let drugs hit him. he been better.
They shouldn't have never drafted in the first place. Tyson Badger was over there. He been a cheaper alternative. You saw what they did with Brock Purdy, nigga.
Exactly. That's what it been, man. But this is hour 2 of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. That is Courtney Color. Courtney, how are you feeling today?
I'm doing great, guys. A little run down from all the All Star festivities for sure. Also trying to get back on my healthy girl shit. So we got dinner ready to be grilled back there. But how's the lighting, boss man?
Much better.
Is that squash?
It is squash. Yes, it's zucchini and yellow squash.
The lighting is much better. I had to get my producer on because I was like the light was. I was in playing with the lighting here too because. It's a big thing, man. When you gotta do that,
moving furniture in my house. That's crazy.
Some good cabinets, some good carpentry.
Yeah, yeah, they're pretty good. So let's just get right into it. Mikey, do you have the list up of the ESPN 100 list? Now, this is the top 100 athletes of the 21st century.
Yeah. The top 100 athletes of the 21st century. Okay. So starting from 2000, they're actually the top 100 athletes starting from 2000. They did have certain exceptions that they took into it. So voters were instructed to consider only athletes' performance since 2000. So Barry Bonds, obviously he played after 2000s, was not involved. Ken Griffey Jr., the same. So in the end, they took over 70,000 votes from ESPN contributors to create their top 100. We'll start from 10 going down. It's a very long list, but with number 10, they had Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. At number 9, they had Usain Bolt. At number 8, they had Tiger Woods, and they go ahead and they list their accomplishments within 2000 to present day. At number 7, they had Simone Biles. At number 6, they had Roger Federer. At number 5, they had Tom Brady. Number 4 was LeBron James. Number 3 was Lionel Messi. Number 2 was Serena Williams. And number 1 was Michael Phelps. So yeah, it was a really interesting list. I don't agree with the top 10. I mean, I agree with the names. I kind of don't agree with the order, and I probably would have took Federer out for Djokovic, but um, I think any list that doesn't have Tom Brady as the number 1 athlete from 2000 until now is null and void. I
Yeah,
think it's null and void.
it's crazy. He said, "No, I love Shohei. Shohei shouldn't be in the top 10. Like, let's relax. Like, out of the 20,
No, no. I mean, Shohei just got here.
yeah,
Shohei
he
just got
got
here.
it. He
Like,
got a lot more.
let's but he's on a trajectory. But one thing that I have like a issue with top 100 people. Patrick Kane is probably going to go down as the greatest U.S. born hockey player. He's got all of the hardware. He's going to get a statue out in the United Center. He was not listed at all. They had Connor McDavid listed as the number 98 best player from 2000. How is Connor McDavid over Patrick Kane?
I
You
agree.
know, and that's insane. And it's not just only my Chicago bias. It's just Aaron Donald was number 20. Like I have to really go and look back, and I get it. He probably was the most dominating defensive player, in this era. But like at 20, James Harden was on this list. Aaron Rodgers was listed number 91. I agree with that. It's a great list off of that. Yeah, he should have not been. He should have been honorable mention.
Yeah.
But I just think it's a terrible list. Even LeBron James, like, I get Lionel Messi because football, soccer is massive and his accomplishments are huge. And if this list was done anywhere else in the world, he's probably number 1. So I'm fine with that. I'm fine with, the tennis. Serena is properly slotted for what she did, for her sport. And especially, being a woman athlete, like she's properly slotted. She's up. She should be in the top 5. But any list with Tom Brady not being number 1 and playing the hardest position in all of pro sports and being as decorated, playing as long, winning as many Super Bowls, winning Super Bowl with another team, when the Patriots went ahead and moved on from him. I mean, any list with Brady 1, any list without Brady 1 and LeBron 2, it's just I just can't take it serious.
I 100% agree with that. Like I said, Lionel Messi. I don't know much about soccer, but I know who he is. So obviously, I have no problem with him being in top 3. I know how big soccer is. Yes, I'm gonna call it soccer because it is the Olympic season, and we don't honor anything that's not named soccer. So yes, I know he's big. So I have no problem with that. I really don't have a problem with any of the names in the top 10. Like you just said, it's the order, bro. Tom Brady. My first ever Super Bowl party that I threw was at the Patriots Rams first Super Bowl, which was the 2001 season, but it was February 2002. I was 14 years old. That's when he won his first championship. When he won his 7th championship, I was 32 at the time. That shows you how dominant. That's literally been 20 years of my life right there of him doing that. He's won 7 rings. He's been to 10 Super Bowls. So if you look at the 20, he's been there half of these last 2 decades. The numbers he's been putting up, it's been crazy. He has to be. I think number 1, it's not even debatable. And number 2, y'all know I'm not a fan of LeBron of Raymond. I'm not a fan of him whatsoever. I am a card carrying member of the LeBron James hater class of 2002. But there's no way possible you can look at sports since the year 2000 and not have LeBron James any lower than 2. It's crazy to me. Everything he did, 8 straight NBA finals. Yeah, he didn't win all of them, and that's one of my main detractions toward him when it comes to the GOAT conversation. But that's a whole nother one. But 8 straight is crazy. Like teams don't go to 8 straight.
20-time All NBA.
20-time All NBA, 20-time All Star, the league's all-time leading scorer. He's gonna smash that record, by the way. Nobody's ever break. It took 40 years to break Kareem's record. Nobody's gonna break that. He's still playing well. The fact that we're even talking about Bronny is because his father's still playing well. You got to put some respect on his name. Everything he's done off the court as well. He's a billionaire athlete right now, he has to be number 2. So
Right.
overall, I don't have a problem with the names on there. Serena is amazing. She's a GOAT at what she does. It's just the order. I think 1 and 2 should be Brady and LeBron, no conversations. Everything else out there's up for conversation. But the rest of the list, James Harden should not be on this fucking list. Like
I'm gonna give y'all just a couple names too, just at random spots. So you got Wardell, Steph Curry. He came in at number 14. Tim Duncan at 16. Shaq at 17. Patrick Mahomes came in at number 18. Like I said, Aaron Donald, came in at number 20. And I get it, man. He was a 10-time Pro Bowler, 8-time first team All Pro, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. He's gonna be unanimous Hall of Fame. Diana Taurasi, number 21. Then we go to Albert Pujols is the very first baseball player, and he comes in at number 24. Right after him is somebody who I think should be higher, and he really doesn't get the credit that he deserves, man. Floyd Money Mayweather coming in at number 25.
100%.
Floyd Mayweather, man. There's no reason you can't. You can make an argument.
Yeah,
100%. But if you told me Floyd was in the top 10, there's nobody really disputing that.
yeah.
Peyton Manning 26, Randy Moss at 27. You got Jokic at 28. Like
That's a little high.
That's a little high. Like, are you just you Mike Trout at 30, Kershaw at 31. That's Courtney's boy. You got Miguel Cabrera 33, Tamika Catchings 34. There's some people, they got Barry Bonds at number 38 just because of the accomplishments he made. A lot of his accomplishments were kind of in the 90s. But if we go just to the back end, you got Connor McDavid at number 98. You're telling me Patrick Kane is not better than Connor McDavid in this, in the last.
He's done. Yeah.
There was only three. I think there was only three hockey players total. It was Sidney Crosby came in the 30s or in the early 20s. It was Ovechkin and Connor McDavid. McDavid does not deserve to be up there.
And that's why I'm careful before I say anything about this list and be like, oh, it's right, it is wrong. Because you have some sports that might be underrepresented. And then with Michael, look, I am never gonna argue that a 28-time Olympic gold medalist, and out of the 28, 23 of them bitches are gold medals. I am never gonna sit up here and have a debate about this dude being number one, and it should be something else. Because it's especially in swimming, because the shit that you put your body through, the shit that you gotta eat just to maintain all of your performance, and all you have to do to be an Olympic swimmer. I'm not going to sit up there and be like Michael Phelps shouldn't be number one, because the Olympics is still the Olympics. The Olympic swimming is still highly, highly competitive. And you had somebody who dominated that for an enormous period of time. Not going to debate that. I'm also one of those people that's like, yo, once you get past 10 to 15, just start putting motherfuckers in different places. Like, it's hard. It's hard to be like, all right, let me put this person at 20. Like, even if you like, if it's multiple people voting and you put it like, all right, you do it like that, then that's cool. But still, it's like, all right, once you get to 20, it's like, all right, whatever. However, for Floyd Mayweather to be where he is, to me, is the only one that I really have a side eye for. It's like, all right, fam, come on now. It's because boxing, just like Olympic swimming, the stuff that you have to do and the stuff that you have to put your body through, and he never lost. He was undefeated. I don't give a damn what you say. He never lost and all that stuff. So I'm not saying, because if you look at the top 10, this is a stacked top 10. I'm not going to lie. He should be 10 compared to Kobe Bryant. He should be 10. Or he should be above Novak Jokic. He should be above Nadal. He should be above Stephen Curry. He should be a top 10 athlete. But even going with the swimming shit, Katie Ledecky's still out here.
Right.
She ain't retired. she's still out here. So there's just some sports where I'm like, all right, I ain't gonna argue it, but you might want to do some moving up. But I'm definitely not arguing with Michael Phelps being where he is, because Michael Phelps dominating the way that he did. Like, just go look at the magazine with him having all of his Beijing gold medals on there. Come on, man. I can't argue that one.
And like you said, as being underrepresented, there were only 3 boxers that made the list. The next boxer isn't until like the 60s or 70s, and that's Manny Pacquiao.
No, there's no respect for the boxers, man.
And then you got after him is Bernard Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins, I think, made it in the 80s. 100, the 100 best player was Charles Woodson, and then number 99 was Ed Reed.
Courtney, what's your thoughts on this list? Anything that stood out to you? Any stubs, or you have a problem who's number one?
No, I just thought the methodology was a little weird. You're including people who just started their careers and also people whose careers started before the 2000s, but it somehow impacts their placement on the list. And like, there's no reason why Barry Bonds should not be the first baseball player featured on any kind of top 100 list. So I just thought the methodology and like the date cutoff point was weird. But other than that, kind of like this next topic that we're moving on to, the top wide receivers list, it's really ticky-tacky. You could really kind of plug them in anywhere in the top 10, those top 10 athletes in that top 100.
Let me ask you this, Courtney, as the fellow, baseball fan. You got Justin Verlander over Pedro Martinez?
That's crazy.
That's insanity.
And you got it by over 45 slots. Putting Pedro in the 90s is crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, recency bias is crazy, and that's exactly why you got a guy like Connor McDavid in there over Patrick Kane. Yeah. Even Alex Ovechkin, finally got his Stanley Cup against Vegas in their inaugural season, so that's probably why he got the feature. I think it's funny. Again, I know they explained the reasoning, but I think it's weird to include guys who's like, yeah, Barry Bonds won 4 of his 7 MVPs before the year 2000. Like, and that hurts him and his ability to be higher in this top 100 list. I just think that's silly.
In the words of ESPN's most highly paid employee, Pat McAfee, this list is a piece of shit, and it is everything that is wrong with ESPN.
I'm sorry, y'all will never give me the hate Pat McAfee.
No, I love him. He keep it 100.
I ain't talking about you, I'm saying in general. I know people hate Pat. Y'all will never ever get me to hate Pat McAfee. I'm just gonna put that out there right now.
So wait a minute. So basically, this is the best athletes since the year 2000.
Since Y2K.
The best, since Y2K.
Since Triple H and Cactus Jack.
Right. I mean,
Rumble.
I have no problem with that. Like it's the wording here. It's the best athlete of the 21st century. And you better damn well believe it's going to be more lists like this coming, because next year it'll be 25 years into the 21st century. This ain't 1999, 1998, 1997, so let's just bleed some shit over here. This is what you did from the year 2000 on to now. So some of these people I have no problem being with, because the sample size for some of those people might be 2, 3, 4 years. So if it's that, then you have to take in account somebody who might be bigger than that. Now, in the Patrick Kane's case, I agree. Like, there's no way that Connor McDavid should be ahead of him, because everything that he did was in this period of time, and Connor just got here. But it also lets you know how sometimes those accomplishments by some people can be forgotten, because shit, I'm from here and lived through all of that, and sometimes forget that them cats won 3 of them. So,
but if we're just gonna base it off rings like that, I mean,
that's part of the discussion.
Totally fair.
That's part of the that's part of the discussion.
And he was also one of the main reasons. Not like he was like
he's
MVP. You want a Conn Smythe.
He's in a GOAT category. He's in a GOAT conversation.
100%.
Yeah, and so like when you, I agree with you. What I'm saying is though, when you find yourself in a GOAT style conversation, And you not only do you have to be higher, the person that's in front of him just got started.
I
Like
mean, you talking about a 9-time All Star, like 9-time All Star, 3-time Stanley Cup, champion, rookie,
Yeah.
all rookie team,
Rookie of the year. He won the
rookie of the
All-Star
year.
Trophy. But
Matter of fact,
how many times has Connor McDavid won those awards? Meaning that he did it over an extended period of time. Like, in order to win those trophies, you have to do it perform that well over the course of a full season. How many times did Patrick Kane do it compared to how many times Connor McDavid has done it? I'm just saying. I'm not disagreeing that Patrick Kane should be on the list compared to Connor McDavid. I'm not saying if you start getting into like the ticky-tacky sort of, oh, this guy has this many trophies and this guy has that many, it could get a little fuzzy.
I'm not saying you're wrong. What I'm saying is he's still here. He's still doing it. You have to give that a level. Matter of fact, just so y'all know, I know a little bit of hockey. That's like they doing this in the 80s. And let's say they're doing this in like 1984. They made a list in 1984 about all of the people who was best in a certain period of time. And Wayne Gretzky, even though he is what he is, Gordie Howe was considered the greatest hockey player of all time. Right, there we go. Gordie Howe was considered the best person, but Wayne Gretzky been here for 4 years. And that's the same thing to me. Like sometimes when you get to some people, you get to your recency bias start to come in, and it's like, let's go ahead and put this dude over here because he's going to be up next. You start going into projection rather than what it is. That'd be my issue with these lists. You have some people like Barry Bonds, who I don't think really that should not be ahead of a lot of people on this list because it's a short period of time between 2000 and when he left. But then you have somebody that you could put, like if they would have put Shohei Ohtani in the top 10, that'd be recency bias and shit. And it'd be projecting. So you got to decide whether you want to project on this list or you're going to say what it is. This is the best at this certain amount of time. And if we would have did that for hockey, even though Wayne Gretzky ended up being the greatest of all time, you can't say in his third, fourth year that he's better than Gordie Howe. You can't say that even, you talk about Mike Modano a lot. You say that what did you say he was the best what?
Who, me?
Yeah, so did you say
Mike Modano's he's got a statue right about 5 minutes walking distance from me. Exactly.
That's like not.
He might be second. Patrick Kane might be second to Mike Modano.
That's why I brought it.
I'm right there.
That's why I brought it up. It's like, we projecting with Connor, but Pat got this whole body of work that's still continuing. So he even has longevity with it too. That's what I'd be worried about these lists, the projection part.
Bang said Mike with that. I thought you were talking about my boy. Skaters
to ever
I listen, and then I could be able to bring that joint back to y'all. So yeah, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? That's up.
Any take on this list before we move on to the wide receiver list?
It was ass.
That's all you got. It's garbage. El garbage. But
waste of time. That's it.
Let's go to this wide receiver list. What I actually think is perfect timing because Devontae Adams, one of the stars of wide receiver. If you haven't watched wide receiver, I'm gonna stop. Netflix ain't paying me, but I'm not gonna say go watch it. But it's good. It's good.
That shit fire.
It's fire. Peyton Manning is killing the content game, man. But one thing we learned about Mr. Devontae Adams, he's been he's my favorite wide receiver. Even when he was on the dreaded Packers, is Devontae be talking a lot of shit. That nigga did not like Jimmy G, rightfully so. And he was on Club Shay Shay, and he was just going off like, if you look at all these wide receivers, niggas basically think the shit changed with me just because I ain't got Aaron with me no more. Like, nah, like I'm still putting up these numbers, doing my thing. He said, I love Justin Jefferson. I love Tyreek Hill and Jamar. He said, but I'm still numero uno. And that was perfect timing with this ESPN dropping their top 10 wide receiver list. Mikey, tell us what you got for this list. Who the ESPN put on there?
Yeah, so I'll start from number one. They got Justin Jefferson. Number two, Tyreek Hill. Number three, Jamar Chase. Number four, CeeDee Lamb. Number five, Devontae Adams. Number six, AJ Brown. Number seven, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Number eight, Mike Evans. Number nine, Stephon Diggs. Number 10, Brandon Ayuk from the San Francisco 49ers. So yeah, that was their top 10. It was basically a poll among scouts and executives around the league. And then there were players that garnered some votes. And you have DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, Calvin Ridley, T. Higgins, Puka Nakua, George Pickens, Chris Olave, Michael Pittman Jr., D Hop, Cortland Sutton. So what do y'all think about that list?
My biggest take is Devontae at 5 is ridiculous. 5 is it's insanity. 2, yeah. Just like Orlando says right here, yo, Diggs is way too fucking high.
Thank you. That's
Diggs
exactly what I was thinking.
I can name about 4 or 5 people better than Diggs.
Stephon Diggs is living off his name the last, I say, 2 seasons. I have no problem with Jets being number 1. I have no issue with that. That's another one too. I know we sound like Bears fans, but DJ Moore needs to be on this fucking list. You know what I'm saying? Like DJ Moore needs to be on this list.
Let's relax.
Over fucking Diggs. Yes, DJ Moore needs to be over this list.
Okay, but if you're gonna slide anybody up in that slot, it's got to be like Deebo Samuel. It can't be.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
DJ Moore. Thank you.
Let's
not let the
right. You're right.
orange color.
Debo running back though. Shit.
But that's the thing with Debo. Like Debo doesn't really get that love as a wide receiver because of the way
overall offensive weapon.
The way that they utilize him.
Higher on the list.
I think Brandon Ayuk is a better wide receiver than Debo Samuel. You know, like personally, if you look at the amount of routes won, the amount of yards, separation, receiving, he only had 2 drops all last year. Like, I think Brandon Ayuk is a better wide receiver. It's like when you look at wide receiver, we're looking at that mold of the Calvin Johnsons, the Chris Carters, the Randy Moss, with the TOs, the guys like that. So like, I don't really look at Debo like that. Like, I don't really see Debo outside.
Take it at face value as that's the position that he plays. No one's going to start splitting hairs when you're like, who's one of the best tight ends in the league? No one's going to be like, oh, well, Travis Kelce also does, like that's his position. He is a wide receiver. I feel like that's unfair because he is gifted and can do multiple things on that offense. I think that's unfair to not include him on the top 10.
Right, I see that. But then we're also looking at, like we said, this poll was voted on by NFL executives, scouts, and coaches. So the league is telling you what they think of Debo Samuel because he's not even in the honorable mention.
Yeah, he
is.
Yeah. Oh, he is? He is?
Yeah.
I thought he was.
Don't be disrespectful. He was the second one on the list.
Oh, he was in the honorable mentions, right. But he didn't receive any. The other people, the ones that receiving votes. Yeah,
well, neither did Puka Nakua, and he was the rookie of the year, wasn't he?
I mean, it's too early to be putting him in top 10 for me. Mike
Evans,
disrespect gotta stop.
Mike Evans disrespect gotta stop.
Yeah, he's an 8, bro.
Oh yeah. I mean,
I think wide receivers the hardest.
I gotta be higher, bro.
Eight is cool. 8 is cool. Wide receiver right now at this point, wide receivers at a golden era, and we could debate this all day long. I think the only one that I would take off is Diggs. I don't think Diggs is a top 10 wide receiver. Whether you want to put Ayuk there, whether you want to put Debo there, whether you want to put DJ Moore there, whether you want to put Puka there. I don't want to be real. I almost was real disrespectful and was like, "Yo, it's the wrong Diggs at this point." But he can redeem himself with the Texans. But I think his top end speed is there. I think he's really just a possession wide receiver at this point. It's one of those things where it's like maybe possibly projecting because you got C.J. Stroud right there. But I do not think he's a top 10 wide receiver anymore.
If they're going off of last year, then I can understand why they got Devontae Adams where they have him based on the quarterback play and the overall numbers might have not been, what we're used to in Green Bay. But I'll give you one, and I don't know how y'all feel about this, but I got CeeDee Lamb over Jamar Chase.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad.
You're talking about somebody with 135 receptions, 1,749 receiving yards, 12 TDs.
Now, also, in fairness, now I'm with you because I'm with you. When I'm with you, I'm with you. But
I already know what you're gonna say.
He was literally the only person on that offense that like got wide receiver wise that got any targets.
But you know what?
But
before that, he was eating with Amari Cooper too, because then people like to pull the whole Jamar Chase has to share with T. Higgins. Well, they were force feeding Amari Cooper for a while. CeeDee Lamb was still getting off too, with production wise. So I can see it. The other argument could be why Jamar Chase, we see what he does with a healthy Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow, obviously missed games, but I mean, people are sleeping on CeeDee Lamb. And Orlando, don't make me talk about you. Don't make me talk about you. The man had 1,700 receiving yards. You talking about too high? Get the fuck out of here.
I love how everybody on this network be looking at Orlando like, I know you ain't talking.
Right, and then just even in the DJ Moore like defense, what they broke down and what they said about Amon-Ra was just really like his ability to play outside, inside, his ability to make yards after the catch, and like his sure-handedness. DJ Moore does all of that, and he's done it with lesser quarterbacks. So even though we are Bears fans, like I'm glad that now, like people saw what DJ. Like if everybody wants to say Justin Fields is trash, that's cool. But look what he did with a trash ass quarterback. Career numbers. You know what I'm saying? So if Caleb is what he's that, and he eats again, like there's no way that the Bears tax is going to be able to stay on DJ Moore's locker and on his name tag, because he actually does everything Amon-Ra does. The same way you like to say, Courtney, about CeeDee Lamb being the only guy. Amon-Ra is the only guy for Jared Goff because he's throwing to Josh Reynolds.
This is Sam Laporta erasure.
No.
Laporta erasure. I won't stand for it.
So like I honestly think DJ Moore is ascending. And we saw how everybody talks about Justin Fields, and we saw he put up a career year. So he just keeps getting better and better. Keenan Allen not getting a vote. I don't know if they're taking into account his age, but he played like 12 games last year, 13 games last year.
What is he playing for now?
Oh, you know.
This is what we doing.
You don't know who he's playing for? Yeah. No. But even then, if this is going off of last year, if this is going off last year with the Chargers, he had a career year at 32, and he was like top 5 in almost everything. So for him to not even get a vote is kind of crazy, but
for a split second, I really did forget. I wasn't even trying to be funny. I really did.
Like, you can't tell me Garrett Wilson deserves honorable mention over Keenan Allen, a 6-time Pro Bowler, somebody who's consistently putting up all those yards. Like, and then the same way, like you kind of gotta throw, if you're throwing Nico Collins in there, Puka Nacua needs to be in the honorable mention.
That's a good point. Niggas doing a lot with Nico.
Who the fuck put Nico where?
And he's an honorable mention.
Honorable mention.
Oh, that's somebody from Houston that did the vote.
But I think that's simply because he had CJ Stroud throwing to him.
Nah, it was somebody. Nah, it was just somebody.
That was Nick Casario. That was Nick Casario's vote.
Yeah, that was a nigga from Houston that was like, no, I got to put one of my homies in there. That's like the equivalent of who was that? They got an MVP vote, like Paul Pierce.
Anybody from that wide receiver core in Houston? It should have been Tank Dell until he died.
When Frank Isola gave Melo MVP vote in like 2012 and shit.
Yeah, that shit.
Stop Brian from going unanimous.
I mean, the list, my answer is similar to the last one. It's really more so of a thing where it's just to create conversation. And with wide receiver, I already told you how I feel. Like wide receiver is becoming the new running back. Like it's 3 new dope ones coming out every year. So I think it's a thing where like taking into account the situation, the quarterback, because like that's why the only reason I disagree with the comment about Jamar is that shit. Burrow was hurt last year, so putting up CD's numbers, I feel you, but at the same time, any one of these dudes, you plug them into a system as a number one, they're gonna get numbers. So I think when they do lists like this, I feel like it would be better if they did it off sheer talent. But even with that, it becomes opinion based. So. Right. For the most part, I didn't really have too many problems with it. But, I think this is the year. Like I said, Bears fans, just be in the moment because we finally about to get our shine. And I think DJ will be on that national radar now. And Keenan is already there, but I think finally seeing him in the Bears uniform and shit, like don't be surprised, bro. Roma Doomsday. I'm gonna keep saying it.
My man Rome.
I agree, and I didn't get this point across in the local hour, but I want to say it now, Scott. And I know you'll be there. Your brother's gonna be there. I want to see who Caleb builds that connection with.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Because that's important. I want to that's really important because last year we saw it was Justin Fields and DJ Moore. There's 3 guys now plus Cole Kmet. I want to see which wide receiver is the name that we're seeing the most in these tweets because that's going to be very telling come the season.
Yeah. I think I just saw the same news. So we on sports, so we got breaking news. So, Lawrence Taylor, former Giant great Lawrence Taylor, LT, has been arrested in Florida on Wednesday for allegedly failing to report resident change as a sex offender.
That nigga a sex offender?
Yeah.
Damn.
I just saw 3 different stories at the same time that all just made my jaw drop.
What were the other
relates to the next topic. Ryan Ramczyk, offensive tackle for the Saints, is out for the season.
Oh,
okay. I was expecting that.
I just seen that right now.
I was holding out hope that that was not the case, but I'm gonna throw up.
Oh, but I saw that earlier that he was starting on the PUP list. But yeah, Ian Rappaport clarifies why a vested veteran placed on reserve / physically unable to perform prior to the final roster reduction is out for the season. Players placed on reserve / PUP at the final roster reduction will miss at least 4 games. So he's fried.
So what was the third?
Who's the quarterback there?
Oh shit, story.
Is Carr again? Is Carr still?
Yes, sadly. I'm ready for Spencer Rattler season, baby. Let's get the tank started.
Let's move it.
Okay. Let's get it started now so we can get that number 1 draft pick. Number 2, I'd be happy with 3. Okay, in like 2026. Who's with me, Saints fans? Who that?
As a perfect segue into our next topic, man, we have been doing our inside division topics. I mean, segment on here. We've been going through each different division. 2 weeks ago, we did the NFC North. Last week, we did the NFC East. And this week, we're going to do Courtney's beloved NFC South, man.
That's
a
strong,
division.
Strong word. Beloved is very strong.
I mean, that your beloved. You trying to you can put them to the side now. But that team, that division, that's Tampa Bay Buccaneers, New Orleans Saints, Atlanta Falcons, and the team that we robbed blind, the fucking Carolina Panthers. By the way, I would love the Panthers forever, man. Shout out to the Panthers, North Carolina. What my man PD Pablo say?
Go on and stand up.
Stand up.
Around your head, smell like a helicopter.
Helicopter.
Yeah.
Who am I? Yeah, that nigga. But anyway, so the NFC South champions were the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Revival year by my man Baker Mayfield. They went 9-8 in a very mediocre division, won a division championship, and actually won a playoff game. Beat the shit out of the Philadelphia Eagles, man. For me, man, this is a very mediocre division. I think Tampa is still going to be competitive. I think that Baker Mayfield has found a home. I don't know if he's going to have the same season he had last year, but I think he'll be good enough for them to compete. I think that the storylines for this is obviously Baker Mayfield and, can he do this again? Mike Evans just got paid. He obviously is going to be a career Buck. How's that going to be? Can they take the things they did last year, where they were able to beat a team, even though they really fell off the face of the earth in the Philadelphia Eagles, a team that were the defending NFC champions and were started off 10-1. They made pretty easy work of them. Can they take that to the next level? I think those are things I'm going to be looking for as well for that team. And they're going to have a little bit more competition, at least from the Atlanta Falcons. We'll get into them later on. But I think it's really about can they repeat as the division champions, and does Baker have an encore in him for that team? Dante, what you're close to the NFC South, obviously being there in Atlanta. What's some storylines that stick out to you for the defending champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Seeing what they do with Baker Mayfield. I think more than anything with year two, I think Baker had a couple comments recently where he said, he finally admitted, yeah, when I was in Cleveland, I should have got surgery on my shoulder. I was trying to play through it, and that really, derailed his career for a couple years. And so with him, back on the straight and narrow, not straight and narrow, but him performing like a first round quarterback, I think it's now a matter of what they do to build on that. They already keep Mike Evans. It's a team that's a few years removed from a Super Bowl. And you don't have Tom Brady anymore, but you still have some of the skeleton of that Super Bowl team. So with a coach like Todd Bowles, I think for them, with this division, I'll let you know how I feel about the Falcons in a minute. But I think for the Bucks, you have to be confident coming into this season. I think this is something where you feel like this is your division to lose. And I think they're gonna take care of business. I actually do, I do have them repeating as division champion.
That's interesting. You got them repeating. Courtney, what'd you think about the Bucks and what storylines you got for them for this season?
I mean, running back the same team basically doesn't really move the needle much for me. I do think that they're going to win the division, but that's not really to like credit them. It's more of just a testament to how bad I think the rest of the division is going to be, my Saints included. So yeah, I think they should win the division pretty handedly. I mean, that's my take. I really don't care about the Bucks. I really don't care about this division anymore. I am complete, which is so unfortunate that the Saints have beat me down to this point. I am like just completely apathetic to the NFC South and to the plot of the New Orleans Saints.
Oh, we're gonna get to your Saints in just a minute. Don't you worry. Mikey, what's your take on what the storyline should be with the Falcons? I'm not Falcons, but the Buccaneers.
Well, with the Bucks, I just want to know who's going to be wide receiver 3. You got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, and then outside of that, you got a young wide receiver out of Washington, Jalen McMillan. He's coming out of this class the same with Roma Dunze. He's pretty solid out there, but seeing if he can emerge as a number 3. And then I just want to see how they do with without Dave Canales. Dave Canales as their offensive coordinator did wonders for Baker Mayfield, revived him, and obviously he's now the head coach of their rival Carolina Panthers. So I want to see what that offense looks like now that there's going to be kind of a new voice there and at offensive coordinator. But I don't have them winning the division.
All right, Bang. What's your take on the Bucks?
It's really about Baker Mayfield. Can he be consistent? Does he have a home? I think outside of that, I think that Todd Bowles on the coaching side of it, do they have a team that can compete? And I know what we're going to talk about with the Atlanta Falcons, but it's still to me a wide open division. So do they have enough to compete with Atlanta at the very least to say, hey, we still here, fam. We a couple of years off of a Super Bowl, and I know it was time there, but we still around. That means that Todd Bowles and Baker Mayfield got to be good. But I just thought about this, and I totally spaced out on it. Their offensive coordinator is gone. Their offensive coordinator is the new head coach of the Carolina Panthers. So it's like, all right, what that's going to look like too. So offensively, can they cut the mustard?
Let's go on to the New Orleans Saints. I'm gonna have this very, very, very fucking brief.
Hey.
Very, very fucking brief with New Orleans, man. Well, like we just said, the news about just came out a second ago from Ian Rappaport. Saints offensive tackle Ryan Ramczyk. He's out for the season because of the NFL rules, with him being placed on reserve and the PUP list. I mean, look, man, you got Derek Carr. Was it Derek or Dave? Derek Carr is your fucking quarterback. You got the human embodiment of white privilege in Taysom Hill. You got Nathan Peterman and you got Spencer Rattler. That's got to be one of the worst quarterback rooms in football. I don't have anything positive to say about them. I think Alvin Kamara left, or the corpse of Alvin Kamara left. I don't know. I think they're gonna be a competitive team just because this division is very mediocre. So I think that they'll be in the quote unquote race, just because they're alive and they're breathing. And they play fucking games every week. But I have nothing else to say about this team. I think it's gonna be a bad football team, and they're definitely 9 games. It's not gonna happen. I think they're gonna be they're gonna switch spots. Honestly, I'm not gonna go that far. I was gonna say something positive about Carolina. I ain't got no. They're gonna drop. I think they're gonna drop at least a spot in third in division. So, I think it's on the right to throw it to Courtney. You are the resident Saints fan. What are you expecting?
Yeah, I think it's a little crazy that you even considered the fact that Carolina could be better than us. I think that's a little disrespectful.
It's not that crazy.
That's a little disrespectful. I'm not gonna hold you, but it's fine.
No pun intended.
For real. I don't disagree with that this team is going to be incredibly mediocre. I think the ceiling is somewhere around, like, I'm looking at the schedule right now. That first 5 games of the season, we'll be lucky if we come out with 2 wins, 1 over Carolina, maybe 1 over Atlanta, but I'm still a little unsure about that. The back half of the schedule, like I was saying, a little bit softer. I don't know. I see a scenario where I'm a happy, unhappy fan if they win 6 or 7 games this season. But again, I'm all in on the tank. I say just start it now. I think they'll be able to shed the money off Derek Carr's contract in next season. If they, which listen, they got a bunch. They're in cap fucking hell. Like, what can you do? It's so depressing being a Saints fan. It really is. I really am all in on the tank. I think that if they start the tank now, we can be in solid draft positioning by 2026. I said it earlier, and I'll say it again.
New Orleans, at least you have Essence Fest. Bang, what you think about the Saints?
Hey, man. Hey, they're one of the teams that's going to be poor for Shador. All right?
Poor for Shador. I like that.
Poor for Shador. All right?
Poor for Shador.
They're poor for Shador. All right? Yeah, this team's going to be terrible with a capital terrible. I don't see no other way. That's all I got. Like, you already have injury issues. You got you got Carr, who is just,
I will say, to their credit, I will give Mickey Loomis, the general manager, a little slightest tip of the cap.
Wow.
I like the Willie Gay signing. I don't hate the addition of Chase Young, but again,
I forgot Chase Young did go to New Orleans.
Yeah,
he's already on the pup list. He's already on the pup list.
Look, keep his ass off Bourbon Street, boy. You just
right. Look. Here's the thing when it comes to all of that, right? The thing about the Saints is they lucky that the Carolina Panthers is in that division.
Yeah,
that's what they're lucky. But at the same time, I might have something to say about them. So no,
yeah.
I have nothing to say about the Carolina Panthers other than, like, Bryce Young. My brother,
if you know a Panther fan, give him a hug.
For real.
If you know a Panther fan, give him a hug.
I feel bad.
I talked to Panthers fans and I told them thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for giving us Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, Darnell Wright, Tyreek Stevenson for quarterback who's my height. Dante, what you think about what I know that's how you know we doing media shit right here. We trying to find anything to say about the fucking Saints. So if you got anything,
they need to tear that fucking Superdome down. That's what I think. The Saints are terrible. The Saints are terrible. Like, they gave Drew Brees that Kobe contract, and they are fucked. Like, this is what you get.
Contract.
This is what you get. So yeah, I think the Saints are gonna be terrible.
The only thing I got to say about them, the only prediction I have, Derek Carr was talking really spicy to Chris Olave a lot last year on a couple routes and shit. My prediction, Chris Olave is going to put that motherfucker through a Gatorade cooler this year.
Especially if there's no more Michael Thomas for anybody to hide behind.
Chris Olave is going to be like, all right, dude, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that would be funny. See that nigga get pushed through that shit, man.
And that's the thing. You put any other quarterback in that position with somebody like Chris Olave and Alvin Kamara in the backfield. And listen, we don't know what Cedric Wilson Jr. we're gonna get, right? I don't hate the way the offense looks. I just hate that Derek Carr.
Courtney, man. Let me tell you something, bro. Let me tell you something, man. You be over here talking the biggest shit when we're talking about DJ Moore,
Speak on it.
Keenan Allen, Roma Dunze, Cole Kmet, DeAndre Swift, Caleb Williams, and you're talking about some Cedric fucking Wilson Jr. and Willie Gay and Willie fucking Gay, a 31-year-old, a 32-year-old fucking linebacker, and you got the nerve to talk to us about the Bears? Get the fuck out. Let's go to the Falcons. Let's go to the Falcons.
No, hey, send the Beignet Saints to the fucking XFL, man. Them niggas stink.
You know what I'm saying? Cafe Du Monde is shut down.
I can't wait for them to win 7 games this season.
Oh,
That'll
poor
show you.
for Shador.
You're gonna be waiting 2 years for that. That ain't fucking
Seven games, so your ass can end up with Drew Aller out of Penn State or Carson Beck.
Hey, the streets were saying that Carson Beck might actually go a lot higher than
You can't
we
talk
were
about us
thinking.
no more.
Oh, he's going number 1 and poor.
He's going.
That's how bad the quarterback class is now. The
Carson
refs are
Beck's
arguing
like
over
he-
Shador and Carson Beck.
Like he failed on Wall Street. Let's go to the next one, man. This is my NFC South division winner. That is the Atlanta Falcons. I am rolling with Kirko Chains. What is that? What he called himself? Whatever that nigga in his fucked up Achilles. They gave him a lot of fucking money. A lot of fucking money that's actually gonna look like nothing once Jerry lets Dak hit the market. And that nigga is gonna finesse somebody. But I think the biggest issue with the Falcons over the last couple seasons has been they've had the weapons. You know, they've had the wide receivers. They've had a solid defense. You know, and I think they said they just really being a quarterback away is what they've been looking for. And so I think that that's going to be a big storyline of what's Kirk Cousins going to do. Is he 100% healthy? Did they give him too much money? Was it a situation where, maybe they and also the Michael Penix thing. I almost forgot the Michael Penix thing that got us Roma Dunze. What's that going to look like over there? So you got that Michael Penix thing, and you've also got the part of where you got to see where can this team, a lot of people thought that they were going to bring Justin Fields. Is Kirk Cousins going to make it look good enough to the fact where you're not worried about passing up on other quarterbacks? But I think the biggest thing with Kirk Cousins has always been his playoffs. What's he going to do in the playoffs? I think they just make it. Win a division, I think that's going to be good. You got a new head coach, Raheem Morris. They got, is their general manager new? Is it a new general manager, Dante, or has he been there for a minute?
He been there.
Okay,
Terry been there for a couple of years.
Okay, he been there for a couple of years. They've got a lot of spotlight on them, man. But I think that they're going to be able to be a team that's going to win this division. I'm not going to say they're going to win 10 games. I can see 9. I'm going to go with the Falcons on this one. Dante, what you looking for with the Falcons?
I think the Falcons are going to be a lot better than people realize, like a lot better. And I think that's mainly because when you look at the games last year, they gave away a lot of games. They were losing games. They had 2 games they lost by 3 points. They had one they lost by 1 point. They had, I think, 6 of their losses by 1 possession games. So I understand everybody's emphasis on the defense and wanting them to go defensive line and all of that. But when you added Kirk Cousins to that offense, I don't expect them to lose games by 1 fucking point. That game against the Panthers was 9-7, bro. Like shit like that is ridiculous. And like it was a lot of games. If you watched them, Desmond Ridder was legitimately giving the game away. And so I think bringing in Kirk Cousins, who I think he'll be fine. They play indoors. It's not like he's a scrambler. He's still gonna be able to be sit back there in pocket, pass the ball. They got some weapons. You got Drake London. You got a healthy Kyle Pitts. You add Darnell Mooney, so you have another deep threat. So I think this is a team that, if things go right and things shake their way, they could win for the division. I think they'll compete for it, but I think they'll be more so in that wild card hunt this year, which is solid because I think it's starting to finally die down, all of the why do we pick Michael Penix shit. But the reality is, if you can get 2 good years out of Kirk, once that money's up, you could play Michael, and you have your young core in there with Michael Penix, like I said, with London and Pitts and everybody else. So they're set up to keep going, and I think they just wanted to really avoid what they had happen when Matt Ryan left, and they just went QB no man's land. So now you have a top prospect, a guy with talent sitting back there, and even though he's a little bit older and he's going to sit, if he comes in and win, nobody's going to give a fuck if he's 27. Like, nobody's going to care about that. So I think with them, it's Kirk. Like, Kirk's going to lead that offense, and they're going to contend for this division. I think they'll be probably one of the most exciting teams in the league to watch.
Mikey, what's your take on the Falcons?
Man, I got the Falcons winning the division. I'm a little worried about them to kind of like start the season just because they do have a rough first 3 weeks. They have the Steelers at home, then they go to the Eagles, and then they have the Chiefs at home. Obviously, we have to see, over the next couple weeks and the next month how Kirk Cousins is rehabbing from, how his rehab is gone and what he's looking like on the field and what he's able to do in practice. But Kirk Cousins is going to do what Kirk Cousins does. 4,000 yards. He's going to make Darnell Mooney look like what we hoped he looked like in Chicago.
I forgot about Moon.
Drake London is going to take off. Kyle Pitts is finally going to eat. I mean, you're going to probably see Kyle Pitts eating how, TJ Hawkinson was and how Irv Smith Jr. was, when Kirk Cousins was up in mini. Bijan Robinson. Kirk is always used to having kind of a solid running back behind him. You had Dalvin Cook. So I think that the offense is going to be lights out. I'm, still a little bit worried about the pass rush. But their secondary's legit. They got some guys back there. So as long as Kirk is fine, I think they're going to start off a little rough. I could see an 0-3 probably with those first 3 games, but then I could see them pick up a quick 4 games in the middle. And then you got to look at, the back end of the season when Kirk is finally feeling better. They finish off the month of December with a game at Mini. So, that game means a little bit more to Kirk Cousins. And who knows, is that JJ McCarthy? Is that Sam Darnold? I think, the Falcons should be able to beat them. And then you have at the Raiders, Giants, Commanders, Panthers. They have a setup right there where about 5 games, those are all 5 winnable games. So this could be something where they start off a little rough in September, but they take off towards the middle and definitely in the back end of the season. So I'm interested to see it. I'm a big Drake London fan. I think he's really, really talented wide receiver out of USC. And I just think he's just been needing a quarterback to ascend. And hopefully, for Falcons fans, they can finally see what Kyle Pitts can do in the passing game if they utilize him the right way.
Courtney, what you think about the Dirty Birds?
Fuck Atlanta.
All right. I forgot what I was asking.
Praying for nothing more than a quarterback controversy. I need Kirk Cousins to go out there and stink it up the first. I'll give him 3 games. Go out there and stink it the fuck up. I want drama. I want mess. Fuck Atlanta. Fuck the Falcons. Fuck that whole city. That's all I got.
Yeah, I love Falcons Saints beef. It's like, there we go. I don't know. Somebody must have exited me. What I was saying was, I love Falcons Saints beef because it just get problematic on the timeline. Like it just, somebody say somebody trash and a Katrina joke fly. It just be crazy.
I've seen the Saints fan get stabbed after a game. Like
I believe it.
I don't think people realize like a lot of this stems from the fact that during Hurricane Katrina, a lot of people from New Orleans moved to Atlanta. So like,
yes, they did.
It's sewn in.
Oh
bro.
man, that was one of that was one of the greatest nights I ever had when I moved to Atlanta. Boy, when them folks from New Orleans moved over Hurricane.
As someone who I lived in Memphis when Katrina happened, so that was that's an interesting cultural blend of Memphians. Them boys
told us, man, hey man, they came over and said, yo, we need this block. And y'all need to be gone in 3 days. Them marks was gone in 2. Like, oh, for real? Like, we knew. You know what I'm saying? We know GD Vice Lord relations and how they go. All right, we know how they go. I'll be quick. Atlanta won in the division. The skill positions are going to be much better with Kirk Cousins there. And in 2 years, Kirk Cousins will have nothing to show for it because they're not going to win no Super Bowl. But he's going to have some money, and he's either going to be retired or on the New Orleans Saints.
We ain't even mentioned Bijan. That's the crazy part.
We just caught us straight for no reason.
I mean, he's going to be catching touchdowns. Shit.
They got their quarterback for the future there. Y'all going to need one. If y'all can't be poor for Shador, you know what I'm saying? You going to need somebody.
What can Shador even read defenses?
Okay. I tell you, can read defense better than Derek Carr.
Hey, listen, we got Spencer Rattler.
He can read better than Derek Carr. Dante, what's your take on the Falcons, man? You're out there What's the poster like? Also, cheap plug. King's Landing will be back on the Barbershop Network.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Jared and Brian. They're gonna give you the real in depth. I should have told them to come on. I don't know. My brain been slipping. My brain. I've been out here in California. This California. Yeah, I've missed the smog out here, but it's different out here. But check out for that for more in depth Falcons coverage this year on the Barbershop Network. But Dante, what do you expect?
Yeah, no, like I said, Kirk Cousins. I think I expect that offense to really light it up. Bijan Robinson, as much as the former coach who's now the offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh liked running the ball, for whatever reason, he was hell bent on not letting Bijan rock. And I think when you have a talent like that, obviously, you want to protect him from injuries a little bit. And you had, a backup running back who was also the year before that ran for like 1,500 yards. So I think it's a thing where he was trying to do the running back by committee thing, but I think you'll see them lean into Bijan more and also use him more in the passing game. So I think, like I said, I'm expecting one of the most exciting offenses in the league. The defense will do enough, and I think it's going to be a team that's going to be very competitive and fun to watch this year.
All right, man. Somebody tweeted when they put Caleb Williams asked the Bears to pay him as the LLC. Somebody put that picture of Stringer Bell in that community college. But this last one's gonna be very fucking quick. I think we could just give a group answer on this. Look, man, I have nothing to say for y'all. But
the ceiling is 3 wins. The floor is none.
Man, look, dog.
5-win season. They'll get 5.
5?
They'll get 5.
Yeah,
they'll get 5.
They'll get 5.
They'll get 5. They were close. People didn't think they were going to get any games last year. They were close in a few of them. We'll see what Dave Canales, he had Baker looking good. Let's see what he could do with Bryce Young. But at the end of the day, they'll win 5, and I still don't think that they'll have a true answer on their quarterback position at the end of the year. So then that's what should get muddy. I don't think Bryce is as bad as he looked last year. I also don't think he was ever as good as what they said he was to be taken number 1 and to be considered a franchise quarterback just off of his size, just off of his durability. So I'm not gonna shit on him and say that he's terrible like a lot of people do, because he's not terrible, but I just don't think he's it. And we'll see, if they're in another position, for us as Bears fans, I need them to get, anywhere between 3 to 5 wins, because that's a top, we have their second round pick next year, and that's looking like a top 5. Nope, it's the gift that keeps on giving. So I give them 5 wins. I think Bryce has showed some moments, but at the end of the day, I think they'll still have question marks on the quarterback position at the end of the year.
I was gonna say, at least I don't even say, man, about them. Man. I hope that, like you said, I hope that y'all win 3 games or whatever. Just because you live in North Carolina, there's nothing to do out there, and you got that terrible ass fucking football team. Y'all got the Hornets.
Xavier Leggett though. He's a beast wide receiver. Yeah. He should be somebody that takes off for them. So that's going to be vital.
Content gold.
Right. He got a crazy ass voice.
He sound like every country nigga crazy. He country nigga Thanos.
Yeah, man, I just be out here, I'm trying to play a game, you know what I'm saying? I just throw me the ball. Throw me a ball, man. I just trying to play a game, throw me a ball. We gonna get at that, man, you know what I'm saying? Hey, Bryce Young, coach, he gonna give him the ball, man. I tell you, man.
So is that? But I think that's all we got on Carolina.
I do think Carolina's going to be an improved team. I do believe that Carolina's going to be an improved team. I ain't saying they're going to win 8 games and stuff like that, but considering what it was this year, this past year, I do think we see a 5-6 win team.
6 would be. That'd be a jump.
The ceiling is about 3 or 4.
I got a hot take.
Go ahead.
They're gonna beat the Saints twice.
Ooh, that ain't that hot. That ain't that hot.
What's this?
That's lukewarm. You got to throw it back in the microwave. You got a 30 seconds that joint on the microwave. That's not that hot.
I'll go back and do it myself. You clip this, okay?
I'm going to make the reel of us talking about the Saints and Courtney standing strong. No, that is not a hot take. That might actually happen.
That's crazy.
He said, Orlando starting the pot. That second round gonna be used to get Micah Parsons. Talk about it.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
The Cowboys won't pay Micah Parsons before they pay.
Because Jerry Jones is senile. There you go. Jerry Jones is eating a couch right now. Do we really even know what day it is?
Also, I think with the amount of money they've given defensive players who have gotten hurt or just not resulted in a W, they're gonna pay that. He's not gonna let Doug walk.
Well,
he got to pay Dak.
that's fine. Just let Michael walk.
Crazy.
Anyway, let's go to our last topic of the afternoon, evening. And then we're gonna wrap this up, man. Y'all correct me if I was wrong, man, but I thought this was a sleepy All Star week. All Star game happened over there. I know Courtney, you were out there. The AL beat the NL 5-3. I don't even know who the fuck was the MVP.
Jarren Duran.
Okay, and then the home run derby was my man Teoscar Hernandez. This isn't really about MLB. This is just my beef with All-Star games in general. I no longer care. Now I do think that the baseball All-Star game is the best out of all of them. It's the most entertaining, the most competitive out of the. I don't know how hockey All-Star games go, so I can't really speak on that. But
it's whack. It's whack.
Okay. Pro Bowl. I've never watched the Pro Bowl. I've watched maybe one Pro Bowl my entire time watching this lovely sport of football. I'm disrespected at what the NBA All Star game has become. So I just no longer care anymore. I don't think they're gonna go anywhere, but I do feel like that. The hype around these things are no longer there because you got people of our generation, we don't care anymore, and I feel like the younger, they don't give a shit. And I just feel like this one, and I feel like even promotion wise, I kind of forgot it was All Star Week this week.
And not to shit on Courtney. I know that's where you live, but I also feel like it was kind of. I honestly think it was kind of location this time too. Like it's in it.
That's crazy. It was hot as hell out there.
No, I just feel like, and then also like they were playing games, like the thing with like they're playing games Sunday and they jump right into home run derby, like they get right into it Monday night.
It started on Friday with the Swingman Classic and then the Futures game.
But that's stuff that like unless you're a diehard fan, nobody's paying attention to. NBA, we at least know it's very short and sweet. Friday, celebrity and rising stars. Saturday, 3-point skills, dunk. Sunday, the game. You're talking about a lead up from Friday. Friday going into a game that doesn't play till Tuesday. But MLB is by far the best All-Star game just because it's the only sport that is being played, with the best players the way it needs to be played. Like Paul Skeens is still throwing 101, like Shohei Ohtani in the world stage is showing you why he's the best player. Hit a 3-run homer. You know what I'm saying? Arlington is a goddamn.
Stomberger, Texas.
Goddamn. Damn, we might have to end it there.
First off, what's wrong with Arlington?
I just want to say this too. Hey, Chicago niggas love Texas, but I am not one of them.
49th most populous city in the United States.
I am not one of them. In the words of Ari Gold, do you know how hard I work to not have to go to Texas? I'm good on the whole state. I'm sorry.
That is crazy.
Man. The one thing that I'll say, because mine's be short, because I'm not the baseball guy, is I think, Mikey, you're 100% right. But what I did like about this is you put Skeens in there. You started them, and you put the best against the best. You put the highlight of the night in the front.
And that's not very
baseball game bang and hockey bang.
And that's not very. And to your point, Bang, that's not very baseball like. It's very purist. So for them to kind of switch to that model, like I fucked with it because I was there at first pitch. Like, now I want to see Skeens run through, Soto, Judge, Gunnar,
and he was going after them.
Right.
People in the comments literally shitting on Texas right now. Not sitting right with that spirit. I mean, that was crazy.
Damn,
Alex out here wild.
He said that shit's Berwin. He said that shit is Berwin.
All right, I'm okay.
Like Euless is the Cicero of Texas. Like Euless is the Cicero.
Euless
is the But no, I like. But I also believe that baseball needs to have something other than the derby and the other games. Like they gotta have something. They gotta have something else. It gotta be something with the pitchers. It gotta be something. It's gotta be something with speed. Maybe somebody like stealing like the fastest man in baseball. It's gotta be. I don't know what it is, but it has to be something.
They're so worried about these dudes getting hurt.
Right.
Yeah,
So
and I understand that. It's just that if the highlight was supposed to be Skeens versus the first three batters in MLB that starts and ends at that night, you have nothing else to give. So it's like they just blew their load the whole like in the first inning. It's like
If it was,
boom,
Yeah,
that's
that's the thing. That's the issue. Is
and that's the I was gonna say that's the issue. I like
The issue
you
is-
got to figure out how to
catch-22.
incorporate 40 guys into the lineup to some degree.
It's a catch-22.
Yeah. All-Star games in general right now, I think it's across all sports. Is just with so many people concerned with their brands and like you said, not getting hurt. The passion is really out of it. Like that's why much as we like to talk about the glory days, a lot of them, the salaries weren't as high, so they had a lot more reason to be passionate about this shit. Whereas a lot of these other guys see this as a break. Another reason I think when you don't have the superstars participating in those showcases like the home run derby, like I don't care what anybody says. If you gave me a home run derby with Shohei, with Aaron Judge, with Gunnar Henderson, with all the guys who are leading the league in home runs right now, that shit would have went crazy.
You throw Kyle Schwarber in there,
yeah, it would have been nuts. So I think with so many people just so locked in on their brands and they're making money off the field on so many different ways. They're not really concerned with All-Star games. And last but not least, I tell y'all this every fucking year. Major League Baseball has the All-Star game on Tuesdays because the owners don't want to give up their weekend gate that previous weekend leading into it. But my whole thing is
Harry J. Rhymes over there.
Yeah, very cheap. If you can balance your schedule, if you can do all this other shit, you can figure out a way to have this All-Star game in prime time on Sunday. Like that's what this game should be, bro.
But if it was this Sunday, it would have not been able to have competed with the Euro Cup with Spain versus France.
Oh yeah, this Sunday.
And Colombia versus Argentina. My last few comments on this year's All-Star game. One, I do not want to see a home run derby again in a ballpark that has the roof open. I think, or the roof closed. They need to open the roof. There's just something with with that natural air and everything. Just the ball was just not flying the way it should have been. I mean, like,
does climate change not hit y'all the way that it hits everybody else?
14 home runs is not doing 14
in the middle of July.
No, I get it. No, I get it. No, I get it.
I'd be down here at True as fucking bacon. Like it'd be hot as shit.
And that's,
but
that's who is that fun for?
Well, but it's do the home runs not fucking fly at Truist, bro?
Oh no, the ball flies.
The ball flies. Nobody wants to see a championship round where 14 home runs wins the whole shit. You like at the end of the day, and they went to so definitely the weather, the roof being closed. Like I get it for the fans' enjoyment. Yeah, I don't want to be sitting there baking. I'd be like, fuck it. I'm at the bar watching it at a TV in the stadium if I was there. But open the roof. It needs to be open. I don't like the timer that they put with the 40 pitches. Like it just felt like a little too rushed. You could tell there was no. I'm fine with a home run derby being 3 hours. I'm not doing shit else on a Monday. In July, the Monday after my birthday, like I'm not doing shit after. I'm cool watching it. The other thing, go back to letting these guys wear their regular team uniforms. I understand that the merch and just any reason to sell new shit is the way, but even Rob Manfred said it. The players were saying it, and he even kind of said it like, yeah, we understand that the fans want this back. Like, if you were to give me a Bryce Harper jersey with All-Star patch with the year, people are still gonna buy it. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit was terrible. And then I just would have wished that they would have ended the game with Mason Miller as the closer, instead of using him in like the fifth, which it was pivotal because the AL was able to keep the lead. But like if you started with Paul Skeens and you ended with Mason Miller blowing by 104 miles per hour, Emmanuel Clase is the shit, but I would have liked to have seen that. Like they would have went ahead and like really like encapsulated like the youth at in the AL from the pitching standpoint. But outside of that, you got to see Shohei Ohtani, the best player in the game, shine. Like shine, hit a fucking bomb. Jaron Duran is a very underrated, and we talked about it. We talk about him on the hot corner. He doesn't get talked about enough, and what he's doing with Boston. So for him to hit a big home run, I fucked with it. You see guys like Riley Green diving for catches. That baseball, the baseball All Star game is the only one where you're going to get everybody going 100%. The pitch count, it might not be ideal because Paul Skeens isn't pitching 7 innings, but he's still going 103 miles per hour and going after these hitters. So it was kind of sleepy, and like I said, for me it felt sleepy too, Scott. Also, me and you were both traveling on that day, so like I was just coming back from PR, and it's kind of like, shit.
I was in a bar in Long Beach, drunk watching this.
Yeah,
shit.
So like I get it. A Monday, Tuesday, it's not really ideal, but the Midsummer Classic is still the shit. And in a couple years, it really does sound like in 2026 is that the next Olympics, we won't have or 2028, one of those. We're not going to have an All-Star game that year. They're just going to go ahead and give 10 days off, and they're inching towards allowing MLB players to play in the Olympics.
Ooh, LA traffic and fucking Olympics. Jesus. God bless, my nigga. That's all we got for y'all today, man. Special Thursday edition of the show, man. Shout out to everybody who joined the stream because Elon tried to fuck us. I paid the $5, and we had like our usual traffic on the viewership today, man. So yeah, man, that's all we got for y'all today. Tomorrow will be the first day. We'll be reporting for training camp for the Chicago Bears. My brother will be there holding it down. You can go to the 79th and Halas Twitter page if you want all the quotes, the pictures, all the updates from what's going to be going on with that. That'll be starting at 10:30 Central Time tomorrow. So we're gonna be speaking to Ryan Poles, Matt Eberflus, all the players and things like that. So we're getting really into the swing of the football, man. And then on Saturday it'll be the first practice. We're gonna be having a lot of content on that. Like I said, the local hour we'll be kicking off the show with the local hour. Today was the first time we'll be doing it. That means Courtney gets the first hour off. First hour and 15. Let's be real. We'll be going over an hour.
No, I was going to say, should I just start planning to be like maybe 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah, that probably actually be better. Like if I say 6:15, if I say 6,
color people, man.
6, yeah. And then we could do a 3-hour show on the Bears. Like that's how much we could talk about them. But we're gonna be doing that. A whole bunch of other stuff coming as well. The second half of the baseball season starting. So I know y'all gonna probably do another hot corner coming up. Summer sessions will be back on Tuesday. Now, Pav will not be there. It'll be me, Bang, and Merc. Because Pav is actually, I don't know. This nigga's going to like fucking Barcelona and like London and shit for like 2 weeks. So I don't know if he'll be on the pod. Bang, your mic is on mute, so I didn't even hear what you just said. But
But, no, it didn't mean to be on the mic, but I was just singing Barcelona.
Oh yeah, so we got that. We took a break this week from the Patreon stuff because I've been moving around. But me and Dante, be back to Return to Queens Boulevard, which today is actually the 20th anniversary, the first episode of Entourage. So we're in the middle of season 3 right now, breaking that down. We'll get back to our Thrones review pods next week as well. Be 79th and Halas Training Camp podcast. We're gonna be doing that for y'all. A whole bunch of content. We get into the whole swing of things now, man. So, as usual, y'all know where to follow me on all social media platforms. You can follow me at Barberchair Scott. You can follow the Barberchair Network at Barberchair Net. Follow H&B Media at H&B Media TV on Twitter and at H&B Media on Instagram. Of course. Follow the Patreon, patreon.com/Barbershop Network. Me and Bang did the first pre-show today. We're going to keep doing that strictly for our Patreon subscribers. If you subscribe to the I'm Not Gonna Hold You tier, which is $5, or the Barbershop Access tier, which is $10, you will get the link to the stream right before the actual stream starts. You can check that out. Basically, we're just gonna be in there talking shit for the show. So come in there and join us for that one as well. You can follow Dante on Twitter at Octoberzonte. You follow Bang at GR Bang on all social media platforms. Follow Mikey at Junior_Solito on Twitter. And you can follow Courtney at 1-800-CALLER BRO on all social media platforms, man. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend. We will holler at y'all in about 8 days. We can training camp talk about next week, so that'd be fun, man. So we up out of here.